Sounds good to me.
Holy snap, it's been a long time, guys. A long time no see. How you guys been? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP NEWS Second Edition. I'm your host. Let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, small PSA. It's not going to be small, probably a big one. Kind of, sort of. It's been a while since I've been back here. I haven't actually been on the channel since, yikes, end of December 2019. So about 3 months, a little more, a little less. Actually, a little more, obviously. My apologies yet again. So there's a lot that kind of needs to be done and to catch up on. For some of you guys who have been here for a while, it's going to be business as usual. We're going to go through some of Phil's old stuff as time goes on. We'll get into requests. Also, I will go ahead and go back real quick and make sure that, to the best of my ability, to go through and try to finish up any other requests from our last request session that's taken care of off that request line as we move forward. That's important. And I've got a bunch of things lined up for you guys. I've got a cornucopia, if you will, of gouty goodness that I hope will be fascinating. It'll be interesting moving forward. And then, as you guys know, we'll have a quarterly meeting sometime around hopefully soon, hopefully in the next couple weeks, to be honest with you, so I can kind of lay out what the situation is, what we're going to do moving forward. I won't do it all here because I have this video that I'd like to go over with you and just try to get the ball rolling. So my initial plans, at least off the top of my head, is try to do 2 days a week, maybe 3 here, while still maintaining some semblance of consistency on the main channel. For any of you who are new here, this is the second channel, i.e. the Fight Club channel. So welcome. And realistically, what we do here is we just go back through the backlog to see what Phil has done. The motto that I've had on the main channel, as well as I've had here, is that Phil's past is the roadmap to not only what he's doing now in the present, but what his future is going to look like. But also, I want you guys, as best as possible, because it's a learning experience for both of us, or for all of us, if you will, to see Phil's failure and understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy just to write off Phil as just some idiot, you know what I'm saying, who may have had some glimpse of popularity and then he fell off. It's a bit more than that. Like, Phil engineered his own destruction, and I can only reference so much because I haven't done a lot of the lore in a while. So that's what this is. A lot of that lore, a lot of that background is developed here, and then it helps translate reference heavy over to the main channel. So this is really more of a history lesson for all of us, if you will. So that's kind of what the purpose of all this is. It's kind of fun, actually. That's pretty much it. That's the situation moving forward. Is I've got a bunch of stuff lined up for you guys. There was some stuff that I had already pre-recorded that was lost for various reasons. I will take full responsibility for that. You have my apologies. So I don't want to record those same things over and over and whatnot, or re-record them, I should say. So I'm going to move on to the next phase, if you will, of batch of videos that I already had set up, and then I can backtrack later. I'm cool with doing it. I just want to do it at a later time because I don't want to break my own focus. On top of that, there are some things that I want to actually start to debunk when it comes to some of Phil's shit. We're gonna try to make a real attempt to find out, okay, is some of this stuff true? Is it fabricated? Whatever. One of the things is going to be the allegations on this pedophilia thing that's been basically on Phil's back for the majority of his career since he's been with Panda. We're going to delve into that, and we're going to finally try to get that cleaned up, at least as best as possible, within, for at least in my own mind, on what that situation was. And then some of how his audience actually kind of factors into it, which is something that no one's really brought up, at least not lately, for good reason. But we're going to delve into that because I think you're going to find that to be a rather disturbing situation to some degree, as well as others. There are plenty of lies and things that are said about Phil. There are plenty of lies that Phil has said and or things that have been said about Phil that we should get some clarification on moving forward. And that's kind of one of the things that I want to do here, amongst others. It should be interesting. It should be fun, hopefully. And that'll be the ebb and flow moving forward. Now, just as before, for any of you guys who have been around, I'm not going to sit in particular, or I'm not going to set myself, I should say, in one particular time frame. We're just going to bounce around. He's got from 2008 till 2018, and that's going to be our span. That's our 10 years, if you will. So I'm just going to jump back and forth. Any videos that I go over, the links will be down in the description, so it's easy for you guys to find later on down the line, as well as when the request line opens back up. I hope it'll help. That will be a great reference for people, so they don't request the same thing if I've already gone over it. Except for the Christmas videos. I don't mind going over those again, because, you know, it was the holidays, I felt a certain type of way and whatnot. Now I don't. I love Christmas. So that's a thing in itself. Anything else in particular? I think that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go ahead and hold you guys up too much with the PSAs. That's just kind of the general idea moving forward. I'll make another video that'll be a little bit more formal, but this is just kind of what I'm thinking right now. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good vibe. And it's just a reprieve from some of the stuff that I'm doing on the main channel and some of Phil's current lore. There's a lot of people kind of reporting on it and going over it. A lot of talented people. I'll chime in on it when I get the chance, absolutely. But I just want to... I like history, and I think despite the perpetual failure that Phil is, because I've coined that on him, at the same time, how he got there is still extremely fascinating. At least to me, anyway. So if I can share that with you, then I will. And so on and so forth. Also, we'll pick up Pocket Check. Those are the Tevin videos that he made 12 of them, going over Phil's first year on Patreon. Those are some great watches. We're going to continue that, as well as other things as well. So strap in. Should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP NEWS Second Edition, and let me go ahead and actually talk about why you guys are actually here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you guys back to January of 2017. This is from the King of Hate Vlogs. Wish I had good news. Help needed. Business update for January of 2017. This video was published on January 29th of 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, that is actually another thing that I want to talk to you guys about briefly, is that we're going to go over the as many as we can the channel update videos. That spans over like 3 channels. 2 channels, I think. Darksydephil, the original channel, DSP Gaming. I don't know if there's any on the King of Hate Vlogs, but the channel updates was the precursor for what eventually became weekend previews, and there's a bunch of gold dust in those. And then obviously, as you guys know, that eventually just turned into the pre-streams. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna go through some of those. We'll do a few of them at first, and then I'll see what you guys think. Would you rather me combo all those together, or would you rather each episode just be its own standalone video? That's something we can talk about. And then if you go on to Darksydephil or the King of Hate channel, or no, if you go to DSP Gaming, or if you go to King of Hate, and you go up into his search bar, you could actually put in things like help, alert, attention, so on and so forth, and you get little meme videos like this where he basically needs help. And there's a stockpile of those things, and there's a lot of gems in there, and that's what we're going to start mining for. This video is going to be the first, so strap in. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you guys are from the main channel, I will slide in some commercials in here. Won't be the tasty videos, at least not yet. That'll happen later on down the line. Just promoting, you know, the different brands that we have: Snortbucks, Hard Snorts, Genatonic, and Tim Snortons. So just kind of something to play off, as well as promoting some people that, you know, we feel that are really talented over here. I want to really start trying to facilitate and build up, or try to help build, I should say, other content creators, because there's some great guys out there who have a lot of talent. I think some of you guys are missing out. So if I can try my best with that, then I'd like to do so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone ahead and talked your ear off long enough, and we have a long way to go with this video in itself. So this is DSP News Second Edition, and Second Edition, sorry, and I'll see you guys in just a second. That's pretty one by, all right. It's not too bad, not too bad.
What is up, everyone? Darksydephil here, and this video is separate from everything else. I wanted to do it as a separate video so that way it's not congested into a weekend preview or something else, because it's a very, very important video. As you know, for the past several months, I mean the past half year really, ever since the summer, I've been trying to keep all of you guys and gals, the viewers, abreast of the situation of what's been going on with myself and my YouTube business, because the bottom line is I am at risk because of...
And you're going to find that being a rather reoccurring situation and speech leading into a lot of these videos. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the King of Hate Vlogs. Wish I had good news. Help needed. Business update for January 2017. This was actually published January 29th of 2017. That's when these videos were a thing. I think he only did this for a few more months and that was it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So let's give a little bit of context to what we're getting ready to walk into. It's been a while since I've seen a lot of these videos, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna freestyle a lot of this. So we're towards the end actually of the first month of 2017. He's still with Machinima. He's still with Panda, but the business has been slipping since like mid 2016. That's actually a lie. His business has been slipping since 2014. But it's really starting to cut into his money, you know, over the last like 6 months in this timeline, if you will. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, where you have an individual who, despite the fact that, if I remember correctly, his engagement, more people who were frequenting his channel, like the usuals, I should say, or the casuals, were participating with his videos. He wasn't bringing in any new viewership, if you will. So that's a thing. Also, I think he still had his comment section open. I think. So that was a thing as well. But his views weren't there. You'll see it as we go along. But he wasn't bringing in any real new viewership. You know what I'm saying? He's still kind of spamming off videos as usual. And all those years of goodwill is starting to diminish on him. I wouldn't say it was necessarily the beginning of the end. But it's where he should have diversified maybe a year prior, maybe even before that. He really didn't. He wanted to keep coasting along because he was making all this ridiculous money on YouTube to put out what would be considered utter trash, utter garbage. And now he has to make a change. But guess who's going to be at fault for that change if it doesn't work? Well, let's go ahead and find out.
YouTube changes and the things that YouTube has changed in the past 6 to 8 months on YouTube, completely changing view algorithms yet again without publicly telling anyone that they were doing it, and now actually completely lying to the public, saying that they don't know what the change is, even though big YouTubers, the biggest YouTubers, much bigger than me, have come out and said, our views are down, we're getting people unsubbed on a daily basis, our ad revenue is down, what is up, YouTube? And YouTube's like, we don't know. I'm in a situation, sadly, where I'm not protected like those big guys. You know, those big guys, when they're getting hundreds of thousands of views on every video and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to millions of dollars a year, oh no, they lost 10 to 20% of their business, just means that, you know, they can't afford that second extra expensive car, or their fucking yacht, or their office, you know, has to downgrade from the 20 rooms to the 10 room. For me, it means I can't pay my bills. All right.
Now, with that being said, and you're going to find it a trend over here that I pause in very pathetic or very awkward looking faces. It's a thing and whatnot for the for the Galtopian Museum of Unnatural Art History. If you're not following their YouTube channel, or if you're not following them on Twitter, you should. You should. All right, so first things first. So YouTube changed the algorithm and how videos are prioritized and so on and so forth. That's not something that they need to tell everybody, because if so, then, and if everybody knew how to be prioritized, then everybody would catch views. But then in truth, not everybody would, because you can't watch everything. And not everybody's privy to that. First off and foremost, especially not an individual like this who was barely scraping by anyway. Like I said, he's been in a perpetual downfall since 2014. That's the first thing. Second thing is, oh, well, if the bigger YouTubers, the ones who are protected, even though he just admitted that they were the same people complaining about their views being down and so on and so forth, if they can't, if they're down 10 or 15 or 20% in their businesses, in air quotes, they're going to have to downgrade here. They can't buy this, they can't buy that. This is coming from the same idiot, ladies and gentlemen, who sat there and bought not even bought, because he's a fucking idiot, who leased a BMW, which completely just tanking his money in that. Took trips, right? Try to cover them as business expenses, but took trips, frivolously spent money on bullshit, never learned how to cook, so took takeout back when he was in Connecticut almost every night. Spent his money on stupid ass statues and posters and other shit that he gave no fucks about, right? That's why he was so quick to sell all that stuff later. He's basically frittered his money away on garbage. And then at one time he was like, oh, well, I want to have my own office too. Not like what he has now. I mean, like, he wanted to actually have his own office space. If you guys remember the lore, back when he was in Connecticut, he was considering on renting out an office space for him, John, Howard, and all those guys to go there, make videos, record stuff, and so on and so forth, upload all of it there, and then he could just come home and drink himself stupid. He literally considered on doing that, which means that he's he's slowly but surely trying to transition his friends from being his friends into being nothing more than employees. Just something to think about with that. So, yes, all those YouTubers were going ahead and blowing money on garbage, or allegedly they were, but Phil did it too. He just did it on a much smaller scale because he wasn't making the money that they were. And even if Phil was, and Phil tries he tries to give you guys the notion that if he was making their money, he would have made better decisions. But when he was making the money that he was making, which was more money than he could probably ever make in life, he didn't save any of it. He didn't do anything constructive with it. He pissed it away, just like some of those bigger guys did. The only difference is those bigger guys eventually smarten up, at least some of them did, and try to save their money. But Phil didn't. Anyway, just to throw it out there for some context.
Right? And that's the bottom line, the situation that I've been in ever since the middle of last year. When all of a sudden in the middle of 2016, somehow my views plummet out of nowhere, even though YouTube is saying engagement is up and likes are up and people are watching for a longer period of time and everything I'm doing is good, my business went like this when it came to profit. Okay?
The reason why that was is, one, he was in a slow decline. And Machinima had been telling him that for a while. He was in a steady decline, and like I said, over the span of years. Two, this idiot believes that just because he used to make a lot of money, or he used to make so much money from ads, or he used to get those really great ads, I should still get that. Don't worry about the fact that I'm not bringing in nearly as much viewership anymore. I deserve those better ads because I'm doing this for a living, and this is how I pay my bills. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to think about this. At the time that I'm recording this, he's actually just barely making 800,000 views a month. That is a far cry from the individual who's making somewhere between 13 and 15 million views a month, right? And like I said, that's now in our current timeline, 2020, our current year of gout. Back in those days, in 2017, he was probably pulling in about 3 million views a month, maybe a little more, a little less. But he's not doing that now. He was in a steady decline for years, and Machinima saw that. So why would they need to prioritize you just because you chose to do this for a living? Why would they need to put their necks out giving you the best ads when there's nobody actually watching them? If you think about it, why would they do that? Why would they feel the need to do that? And Phil isn't willing to work any harder. He's not willing to work smarter to make his content better. So what's the point? He wants to spam the system and be paid graciously for it, be paid handsomely for it, be overpaid for it, to be honest, which he admits later. And he was. He was given all those things for a long time. But when that stuff faded away, he had an attitude about it. And that's nobody's fault but his own.
And trying to keep everyone in the loop on what's going on. I have a big update today, and I'm going to tell you about the things that I've been doing behind the scenes to try to keep everything working, keep it afloat. In fact, I'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on back home in Connecticut that I have not really revealed at all yet.
Now, is he going to tell you guys about the business loans? Is he going to tell us about all the new credit cards that he had, or the balance transfers he was moving around? We'll see. We'll see. But I'm sure they're all short-term. They were all short-term moves, which end up screwing him over in the long run. Because why wouldn't it? DSP News.
Because I know a lot of people are wondering, well, is Phil going to be able to keep doing YouTube? What's going on, right? The bottom line is there's good news and there's bad news. But the reason I'm really making this video today is because I'm appealing to you once again for help. I really seriously need your help. Just like the first time I made a video about this, what was it, back in October of 2016? I'm pretty much in the exact same situation, and let me explain what's going on here, all right?
If I haven't gone over that video, I will. I will.
So, I've made a lot of changes, if you haven't noticed yet. I've made a lot of changes based directly on your feedback ever since this whole situation started last summer and then through the hardcore gaming season when all of a sudden my views seemed to be down and everything wasn't working out. And I'm like, how am I going to keep this business afloat if everything's down according to YouTube? And I directly listened to what you told me to do, all right? I started streaming not as much, but then something happened, okay? Because first thing people...
Now, let me point that out. Whenever Phil makes changes, right, he always says, oh, well, these are the changes that people wanted me to make. These are the changes that people said, oh, well, this will bring me more engagement, more views. It'll help things stable out a little bit if I make these changes. But this is the same individual, ladies and gentlemen, who took years, and he's admitted this, years to move to direct capturing. It takes him... These requests that he's talking about now, or this request, I should say, he's talking about now, was probably made to him 2 years ago. Or within the timeline of this, right? So it's 2017. In 2015, people probably asked him to make these changes. And he was streaming at that time. You know what I mean? Well, you were on Twitch, I think, in 2015. Before you eventually left because you were a bitch. But that's neither here nor there. These are requests that are years old. Years old. And he put them off because he thought he knew better. Or he was comfortable with what he was doing. And then, when his baby backs were literally on the grill, right, already searing, if you will, then all of a sudden he wants to make changes. But it's almost, I wouldn't say it's too late, but most of those people who made that request are already gone. So now you only have a small minority who are still holding out and hoping that you're going to see the light. He didn't want to do it when the big audience was there because he was thinking... he was thinking that, oh, well, you guys were here from the beginning, you guys like me and everything, so you'll keep supporting me no matter what, and I'll get around to you when I feel like it. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, not everybody can go ahead and literally make a on-the-dime turn right away. It could take, 3 months, 6 months, even 9 months. Everything's a work in progress. But he takes years, and he only does it when he's in trouble. So, which is, is something that I keep perpetuating, that if those people really want change from Phil, you got to vote with your wallet or you got to vote with your time. Because those are the two things that Phil demands from you the most. Just my opinion, of course. DSP News.
Stream less. Just have people watch the videos on YouTube more. But then people say, well, why don't you just go back to Twitch? Because Twitch now is very profitable. People say that streaming on Twitch is a profitable place to stream. So I did. I went back to Twitch for 2 months now. I've been back on Twitch TV. Daily, I'm live streaming over there. And I have to say, people are showing up for the streams. They are subbing. I think...
Now, before he gets into that, okay, let's talk a little bit about him going back to Twitch and why he really went back. He only went back because of the money. Because, because I think when he was originally there, everything was revolving around subs. The same subs that he shitted on people like Angry Joe and other people who used to be e-beggars and used to beg for people to come and, you know, sub to their channel or donate to them through their PayPal links, which Phil has, right? Because he doesn't have a... Does Phil have a Patreon at this point? 2017. Yeah, he has a Patreon because he started the Patreon after he left Twitch the first time. So yeah, he definitely has a Patreon. But when he was on Twitch the first time, before he actually started a Patreon, I should say, he didn't. He used to when he left, he shitted on those people for, oh, they use their donation links. Oh, they beg for subs, so on and so forth. I don't do that. I'm all about the games. I don't believe in e-begging, so on and so forth. But then when shit was starting to get hot on YouTube, well, for him it was getting cold. He runs back to Twitch, and he only runs back because people had been telling him for months, going back to what I told you guys a few minutes ago, people have been telling him for months, oh, there's so many more ways to make money and have opportunities on Twitch, you should go back. If you really need all this help, then one needs to do something for themselves, or do for self, if you will. And you need to go out there and actually get back on Twitch. So he said he's been doing it for 2 months, which means he probably got back on there in like early December of 2016. Maybe late November. But even still, he didn't go back over there for any better quality or anything like that. He just went back for the money. And then there's another perpetual lie in the DSP lore that, oh, when he went back, he had to talk to them and they had to negotiate everything to get his channel back. He didn't delete his channel. He just deactivated it. So when he came back, he put a request in, hey, is my partnership with you guys still a thing? It was. And it took them a little bit of time and it got reactivated. On top of that, he probably had a few people back then who were fans of him anyway, who had moved up in Twitch and were able to put him in a position. So even if they were to, air quotes, expedite the process, they were going to do it for him regardless. But he makes it sound like it was this big thing and they had to see if he qualified, and that wasn't the case. As Tevin talks about quite a bit, as you don't lose partnership with Twitch once you get it, unless you just get banned. You know what I mean? And even then, they may let you back. But you don't ever really lose partnership with them. Hence the reason why it's so hard to get partnership. Now, here's the argument that I made when it comes to Twitch. If this idiot never left the first time, if he wasn't mad, if he didn't sit there and bitch about some dumb shit like bandwidth, right? Or the bitrate, sorry. And just shut the hell up and kept working on Twitch, who knows how big he could have been now. Now, don't get me wrong. He'd still have his haters and trolls and everything else. But he'd have a much larger footprint on Twitch. Don't get me wrong, he's not going to be Dr. Disrespect or Ninja or Tim the Tatman or Lyric or any of those guys, but he would be more into the mix. He's been around for a long time. He still brings in decent viewership, and then when all the different ways, when more ways came in or came into the process of making money, he'd be right there at the forefront. But instead, he ran to YouTube with his piggy little pride, and he completely fucked himself. And now he's back here starting over, late 2016, early 2017. Look at him now in 2020. He was going to fail anyway. You know, no one is arguing that. But look at how he screwed himself up over his petty pride. That's not the haters, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the trolls. That's not the detractors. That was him. Thinking he was standing up for something that people was going to rally behind. Nobody cared. And it only affected him. And even to this day on Twitch, he's still suffering the consequences of that. There's something to think about. DSP News.
Over 130 subs and growing on my Darksydephil channel on Twitch. I've got people who are cheering with bits in the stream chat every day and participating, and it has been profitable to stream over there. So in that regard, 2 thumbs up to everyone.
Now, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, mirrors what he ended up doing towards the end of 2017, 2018, and 2019, where Twitch is going great, everybody. You know, everybody over there who's participating is doing great, but you guys on YouTube are fucking up. You guys on YouTube are slacking, and you guys need to step up and help me. This right here is the beginnings of that. This is Gouty ground zero when it comes to you guys on YouTube need to step up, which is another reason why I've chosen this.
When it comes to Twitch, first of all, thank you for convincing me to go back, and number 2, thank you because it's actually getting me some extra funds that I desperately need now in order to keep this business afloat. So thanks.
Well, it wasn't hard to convince you. Hey, Phil, go back to Twitch and we'll give you money. Okay. It wasn't hard for that to happen. And like I said, he had his partnership already waiting for him because he just deactivated his account. It wasn't like that Twitch admin when when him and Phil had that little back and forth, said, you know what, Phil, if you don't like it, you can just leave. That admin didn't say that to him. Phil chose to leave. He deactivated his Twitch account and he left. But that's all he did, is deactivate his account. He could have reactivated it at any time, and he knew that. He knew that the moment he did it. He knew that he could always go back to Twitch if he needed to, but I'm just going to deactivate my account so nothing, happens to it, so I don't fuck myself over. That's really what it comes down to. You can give him some credit for that if you want to, but that's what it really came down to.
For all those recommendations, it's worked out really well, and I'm very grateful for those who have headed over there and have been participating in Twitch stuff. All right.
Participation meaning giving him money.
I also want to say thank you to those who have stepped up and pledged to my Patreon when normally you wouldn't have, or you hadn't in the past, because you took heed to what I was saying last year when I said, listen, if I don't get extra support from the viewers, that's it. It's over. It's true. If I didn't get that extra...
Another little buzz phrase we've heard at the beginning of this year, in 2020. The problem is if he came through on his obligations, if he actually fulfilled the Twitch goals without trying to rip people off or without trying to scam people, more people would support it. Ladies and gentlemen, if I opened up a Twitch tomorrow and I said, hey, I have these goals, and as long as these goals are met, I will come through with these goals in a timely manner. If for the first 6 or 7 months, if I end up hitting those Twitch tiers, if you will, and then I do the goals like I'm supposed to, then guess what's going to happen? People will continue to participate. Not forever, but you know what I mean? People will participate as long as they feel like they're getting their money's worth. And they feel like the commitment that they made and the commitment that's obligated to them is being fulfilled. It's one hand washes the other. But Phil didn't want to do that. He was always looking for a way to kind of milk people out of their money, to try to con them or Ponzi them in some ways out of their money. Ponzi probably isn't the best terminology. Just, I'm just rolling with that because he's not smart enough to do a pyramid scheme. Even though, now that I think about it, that's what Project 7 kind of was. That was kind of a pyramid scheme, kind of. People investing money to be part of a project, and then eventually they all got fucked. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a basic confidence scam, though, to be honest with you. So, it is what it is. But if he had came through with his obligations, then people would have supported him on on Patreon. But that didn't happen because he was always looking for a way to screw them out. So people pulled their money back. Just throwing it out there. And a lot of their, and this is something I wanted to point out too. I haven't done it on the main channel. Or maybe I have. I'm sure it's on one of those broadcasts. But the reason why Phil plays a lot of those Japanese-centric type games, right, is because back in the day, early Patreon supporters, the bulk of them, I should say, were really into those games. And they made sure, believe it or not, a lot of them they were the driving force on why a lot of those Patreon goals were made. Especially for Patron's Choice. And so on and so forth. Those long, Japanese-centric, very deep narrative type games. Those were the ones that usually won those polls because there was an audience out there to watch that. And when he cut that off, I can't remember when he did that. Must have been like late 2017, complaining about his voice and all kinds of silly shit. Once he cut that out, Patreon just started to fail. It had been failing ever since. The moment he cut that audience out on people who love those type of RPG type games or story driven type games, he screwed himself. And that's why you see him play games like Judgment and whatnot and Neo and things like that now. He's trying desperately and has been for years to try to bring those people back in. And he just still hasn't, and he hasn't done it yet. But that's just my theory, of course. Not necessarily a Theo theory, but that's my theory, of course.
Patreon support, and I didn't start making that extra money on Twitch, I probably right now wouldn't be able to do this anymore. So just in the past 4 to 5 months, you guys and gals have helped me out immensely. I want you to know that, okay? Now, behind the scenes of all that going on, I said, well, there's not much else I could change on YouTube. There's just not. There's not much else I could change on YouTube. If I were to stop doing raw gameplay videos and just do all edited style videos, guess what would happen? Nothing. I wouldn't get any increase in viewership, because the way that YouTube is now set up is that my DSP gaming channel will not show up in search results. So even if, let's say,
but wait a second, didn't Phil say at the beginning of this that they fucked around with the algorithm and that's what was screwing his business? Now he's saying that, oh, now my channel doesn't appear. But his channel doesn't appear in the search engine, allegedly. Even though that kind of got debunked by Kiwi Farms late 2018 or early 2019. Someone had basically debunked that. He does show up. He just doesn't show up as high as he used to. And why is that? Because there are more and more people out there who not only make gaming content, right, but have people engage with that gaming content. Meaning likes and dislikes are available, the comment section is open, and people like it so much that they feel the need to share it. Who the fuck is going to do that with Phil Burnell's shit? Who's going to fucking share a Darksydephil video when you have detractor videos that you can go ahead and share? Or this is how you don't plays. Why would you need to do that? If he didn't put out garbage content, he would have, I should say, it's too late now probably, but he would have had a better chance. But he didn't want to. He was comfortable, and it was easier doing what he's doing now. Stream games, cut them up, and then put them out there raw on YouTube. That doesn't require any effort, ladies and gentlemen, because that's no different than what he does now. Streaming, to be honest with you, really isn't any different than him sitting on his ass and drunk and going ahead and doing gameplays back in Connecticut, except for the camera wasn't on him back in Connecticut. It's really no different. How is it that he couldn't do more? He knows editing is his last shot. It is literally his last shot, and he won't do it. Because in his mind, oh, it's not going to pay off. It's not going to be worth the effort that I put in. I'm not going to get that back right away. So I'm not going to do it. And that's the problem with people like Darksydephil. Is he's one of these unrealistic motherfuckers who want instant payback. If every video that he puts out, ladies and gentlemen, it has to have 10,000 views in the first hour. You know what I mean? It has to make it on YouTube's trending section by the end of the day. I need to be making, or he needs to be making, I should say. He needs to be making $1 million for every video. Well, not 1 million, that's being unrealistic, but a couple 100,000. You know what I mean? Well, that's being tens of thousands. Let's say that. That's what he expects, and he's always been that way. He tasted that once for a little while, and he couldn't let it go. And maybe because he wasn't that talented, he wasn't that good. He keeps saying that YouTube fucked him, but if he put out good quality content, he wouldn't be so bad. But on top of that, he spammed the system for years. I think that's something that goes understated. He spammed the YouTube system for years, trying to drown out everybody else. And let me give you guys a little bit of insight into his mindset. I have more videos than anybody else out there. I'm the most prolific playthrough, YouTube gamer out there, right? This is what Phil has attached to his name. I think what Phil tried to do was spam the system, to spam the algorithm, to spam the site with so much stuff that no matter what game is played, he's in that mix. No matter what. And as long as he could get his little army to keep liking the videos and keep watching them and possibly even sharing them, he'll be within the top 10 results, which means he's guaranteed to get views. But the problem is because he was spamming the algorithm, and on top of that spamming his channel, he didn't have the subs. Well, if you don't have the subs, when videos go out, you don't have the people watching them. Even when he had 160,000 subs now? Even when he was at 160,000 plus back in those days, or he was working his way past the 100,000 mark, he wasn't making that on each and every video. The first 3 or 4 videos of the playthrough got a lot of views, and then the last 2 or 3 videos at the end of the playthrough got a lot of views. That was it. Because people got smart and realized this guy is going to put out a playthrough with like 200 parts. Well, fuck all that. We only need the first hour of it, which would probably be, 5 or 6 videos, and then we just need the last, 30 minutes of it, which are the last 3 videos of the playthrough. And that's it. After that, everything else is dead weight. And the thing is that middle section, right? That part of that shit sandwich is where the substance was. That's what YouTube was. That's where YouTube wanted to see the growth, and he didn't have it. And because of that, they found a reason to. They didn't have to. The algorithm didn't have to push him. And then this idiot here, he sat there and deleted all of those videos because of the false copyright strikes on the fan art, without anybody telling him to do it. And and that's another reason why, or that's another thing I'm looking to debunk in these videos. YouTube never told him to do that. Machinima never told him to do that. He did that because he was scared. And he thought, I'll delete the problem and then the problem goes away. And what ended up happening was he fucked himself for the foreseeable future. That's what happened. Darksydephil has never been able to see past his own fist, past his own hoof. Everything past that is the void. It's the abyss. And since he couldn't see past his own fist, he couldn't see past his own hoof, you know what I mean? He makes split-second decisions. And those decisions end up screwing him. In the worst possible way. That's how detractors got a foothold in. You know what I mean? That's how trolls and haters got a foothold in. That's why he's the laughingstock of YouTube. It's not just because he puts out terrible quality content. It's because he's a terrible person who makes really bad decisions. And his decisions only hurt him. And even when he thinks he's winning, he's losing. Perpetually. But he don't want to see it because he doesn't want to admit it. That's why he is the way he is. That's why he's looked down upon and laughed at the way he is. That's why people ridicule him the way they do. Just my opinion, of course. DSP News.
I played Resident Evil 7, and instead of doing all raw gameplay footage of 9.5 hours, I did a 4 to 5 hour playthrough, which is edited like every other YouTuber does. I wouldn't get any extra views. In fact, I would have gone out of business because it wouldn't have mattered if I made the change. No, I would have gotten no additional views because I don't show up in YouTube search anymore. It's just true. It's just absolutely true because of what happened in 2015 with the copyright strikes. Even if I changed my entire business to edited content like everyone else, I would go out of business overnight. So I can't do that. I mean, what I would like to do ideally...
Wow. Angry Snort. Anyway, keep in mind though too, KO Gaming was supposed to be his depository for edited content. Now, one of the mistakes that this idiot made is he didn't bring Panda into it. And I don't mean put her into the content. Lord knows, don't do that. Allow her to learn how to edit and let her edit your content, right? Do that. So if he wants to put out the raw, uncut garbage, continue to do so. But then have her actually work on the edited content with you. I'm not trying to imply that she should have done everything. I'm saying they could have done the edited content for KO Gaming together. And let her, as time goes on, because Phil's a lazy piece of garbage anyway, let her develop her fingerprint. Let her develop her flair. You know what I mean? Let me give you an example. When you look at detractors who do edited type of content, you can tell the difference between Snortbucks, Mr. Huff Stuff, David Davison, Volt Boy, Mighty D, you know what I'm saying, Soma Julius Cruz, all those people. You can tell, you know, who did what. You don't even need to see the title. You don't need to see any of that. You can watch 15, 20 seconds of somebody's content and you know who did it. You know what I'm saying? Because each one of them has their fingerprint on it. You know what I'm saying? They have their own little bit of flair. They have their own little style to it. He could have allowed Panda to do that exact same thing. He never thought about it that way. He was too busy just wanting her to cook and clean, and then when shit got really bad, for her to go ahead and go off and get a job, which eventually is how Tyrone ended up swooping that up, and that right there kind of explains everything else. He didn't utilize... He was all about using people, right? But he didn't know how to utilize people properly. To where not only does he benefit, because that's the only person that needs to benefit, Phil, but how other people could have benefit too from the experience. Because experience is wealth, believe it or not. You can translate it to anything. You know what I mean? And practice makes perfect. But he was too dumb. He was too stupid. He was too ignorant that he couldn't have taken some of his raw files after he uploads it to DSP Gaming and send those files to Panda or put it onto one of the many external hard drives, give it to her, and let her mess around with it for a week, and then upload it to KO Gaming. That could have been easy, but he didn't. Now, granted, he did try to utilize people in his audience to make This Is How You Don't plays, but they were utter garbage. And they were utter garbage because they understood instinctively that we can't make a video that's bashing Phil, or it'll never go up. It has to be candy-coated, it has to be hoofed-held, it has to make Phil look like in a positive light. And that shit's boring. That shit's boring. Phil could have cut into the This Is How You Don't play market if he wasn't a goddamn ass clown about it. But no, he thought his image meant so goddamn much and whatnot that he couldn't laugh at himself. And that's why This Is How You Don't plays reign even to this day. And the ones that were on his channel, which was part of what? The KO Gaming Community Creation Program, or whatever it was called. I think it was called KOCC. It's in the void. You know what I'm saying? Only spurgers like myself remember that. It doesn't mean anything. And I wasn't even around for any of that stuff. I ended up watching that shit later. I didn't even watch it. I glimpsed through it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Is do the raw gameplay on DSP Gaming and then do montages for KO Gaming, where I would like to not only have highly edited reviews and my year-end series, but also montages of fun special events, playthroughs, and the like. So, if you haven't seen
But he fucked that up too. Like, here's the thing. Because you know me, I'm reference heavy. Let's see, montages. There's a lot of people I like who make montages. There's a lot of people I like who makes montages. But my favorite, I think one of my favorite people, he is my favorite person who does gameplay, walkthroughs or playthroughs, whatever, and then does montages, is Chase Money. Okay? Chase Money, and then he has a second channel, Chase Money 2, which if Phil had structured his channels like Chase has his channels, he'd have been a much better spot, and he could have done that years before. But then again, Chase has been grinding for a long ass time. He's one of the first people I saw when I first came to YouTube, when I started watching YouTube, not before I started making content. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. Chase Money does a really smart thing at the beginning of all of his playthroughs, right? He does it for the first, I think he does it actually in every episode, but he's been doing it for years, ever since he started doing montages. All right, hey guys, we're getting ready to play Resident Evil 3, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have a good time with it, so on and so forth. If you guys have a funny moment, if you guys something that you want to see in the montage later on down the line, or it could potentially make it into the montage, leave a timestamp down below, right? And for whatever the funny moment is, or scary moment, or whatever, and maybe it'll make it into the montage. He does that. What is that? Well, I talked too goddamn much, but that was 15 seconds on my part. He puts that in for 10 seconds, and then they start the playthrough. He does that every video until they beat the game. So when it's time for him to do the montage, what does he have to do? He just goes back into the comment section. I mean, he goes back into his comments from his actual YouTube dashboard, and he chooses, and he goes ahead, writes down all the timestamps. He finds out what those funny parts are. If he likes it, he clips the person's comment, and he'll go ahead and pull the timestamp for that funny scene. Boom, that shit makes it into the montage. Now, not everybody's comments or not everybody's selection will make it into the montage, but Chase is real smart, and he does also like year-end montages as well. Those things are fucking amazing. So whatever didn't get into the montage for that initial game, it might make it later. Or timestamps that have been upvoted a lot, those sometimes make it in there too. Things like that. He does that for multiple games. And Chase plays like 3 games at a time, sometimes 4, and he keeps all that shit together. It's really well done. It's really well done. It's hilarious. It flows well. You know what I'm saying? And how hard was it to say that? How hard was it to do that? But if you're spamming your fucking YouTube channel with that garbage, most of Phil's playthroughs are just dead air anyway for 10, 15, 20 minutes at times. And I think that's the reason why he never asked them to do the timestamp thing. Or he was just stupid and he never thought about it. Well, maybe not stupid, but he didn't have any creativity. So that's something to think about as well. And if he had done that, that makes Panda's job, and I'm hypothetically, you know what I'm saying, hypothetical pignosis. It would have made Panda's job as his personal live-in editor, as well as live-in maid and everything else, that would have made her job so much more easier. So much easier. You know what I'm saying? It's literally point and shoot. Anyway. When I'm ready to make a "this is how you don't play" on myself, I know how I'm gonna do it. DSP News.
Yeah, this week in particular, I just posted up the best of the Twitch and Chill Marathon over there. I did a Twitch and Chill Marathon last week where it was all interactive stuff with both fans and trolls. Ended up being an incredibly entertaining stream, and I did a big montage of it over on KO Gaming. That's the kind of stuff that I would like to do. Raw gameplay on DSP Gaming because it has to exist regardless. The edited content over on KO Gaming, and let's make KO Gaming grow because KO Gaming does show up in YouTube search results. We've seen that definitive evidence in 2016 when my video about Homefront the Revolution.
But didn't he just sit there and tell you that he can't make edited content for his YouTube channel because it's not going to show up or it's not going to pay off? And he's saying, "Oh, well, on DSP Gaming, you know what I'm saying? It won't show up on DSP Gaming because it's already been deprioritized." So why are you putting so much effort on DSP Gaming then if it's not going anywhere, if it's slowly dying out? I want you to think about that. This is before, ladies and gentlemen, DSP Gaming turned into an archive channel. And if you really look back at that time, how much focus did he really put on KO Gaming? Really? He's going to talk about Homefront Revolution right now, which is probably the most successful video on that channel. But then I'll talk in a little bit on what happened to the money for that.
Got almost 1 million views when my 2 videos about No Man's Sky each got almost 100,000 views. Well, actually, I take it back. One had over 100,000. I think one was like 50 or 60,000. Or my review of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which also ended up getting a ridiculous amount of views. I think it was almost 100,000 views. That channel, KO Gaming, has potential to grow massively. That's why I want to put any new efforts and new content like montages on that channel, because that's...
Now, fucking idiot. This is the problem with KO Gaming and the wasted potential that this channel had. When Homefront Revolution came out, it featured on 1 or 2 big YouTubers who saw it, and they featured it on their channel, or they talked about it, I should say. They referenced it on their channel, and that's how it got buzz. That's how it got hyped up, and that's why it got a bunch of views. Instead of Phil following that up immediately, him and Panda decided to go on a staycation. So he sat there and was thinking, "Holy shit, I haven't had this many views probably in forever, and oh man, it's going great. I don't want to ruin it. But I know I'm going to get paid heavy off this because that channel was partnered too on Machinima. So we can go on that staycation. We can go there. We can go into the city of Seattle. We'll get a nice hotel," which they did. It was a nice hotel. They were there for what? 4 days, 3 nights. And he did that. And he basically squandered the exposure that was put upon him. That was literally his first chance and his second chance all at the same time for KO Gaming. And, well, let me reword that. That was his first real chance and, sadly, his last real chance for exposure on KO Gaming. But that was his second chance for DSP Gaming. Because now, think about it this way. Now, oh, man, he's catching all this buzz. Hey, man, did you see that video on KO Gaming? Hypothetical pignosis. So, try to, imagine it with me. Oh man, you see all the buzzes going on KO Gaming? Yeah, it's amazing, man. Hey man, that's Phil Burnell. That's DSP. What? DSP did that? Yeah. It's crazy, right? Wow, I used to be subscribed to that guy's channel back in the day. Man, maybe I'll go over there and check out some of his playthroughs and we'll see if anything's changed. You see what I'm saying? Like, out of 100 people, maybe 10 people, maybe 20 would be like, okay, well maybe I'll go over there and I'll check out his channel. You know what I mean? I'll check out DSP Gaming if they actually like the KO Gaming video. You know what I'm saying? So he would have given himself, even in the smallest bit, a little bit of traffic. You know what I mean? He'd give himself a little bit of an opportunity. But he didn't think about it that way. He just saw all the crazy views, translated that shit into money, and then immediately had to go and spend that money. Didn't think about, holy shit, this is happening. All the money from this video right here, I'm going to put that in the bank. Just in case shit happens. I'm not going to do that. Me and Panda are literally chomping at the bit to try to spend it. Wild stuff. But this is what I'm going to try to point out. How he squandered opportunities. Because that's all he did. Trying to chase after other YouTubers and their clout. That don't get you nowhere. You're not on those people's level, and it's like that for a reason. All you can do is the best that you can do. You know what I'm saying? If you spend your time chasing after other people, you'll get nowhere. And then no one will remember you because you don't even remember you. DSP News.
The channel that has the potential to grow. DSP Gaming has no potential to grow anymore. Yeah, it'll very slowly, every once in a while, get some new subscribers, but it's just not. It's destroyed. That channel was destroyed by false copyright strikes against it in 2015, and if anything, now we've seen it can't come back. It's going to stay at the same level it is forever because of what happened in 2015, the illegal actions of two pieces of shit humans against me in 2015, and I can't fix it. I've tried, I've busted my ass, I can't fix it. There's nothing I can do to fix that. That's how Google made YouTube work. So, that's one thing I've done, is what I'd like to do, keep doing the raw gameplay on DSP Gaming, but all edited montages and things on KO Gaming. That's one major change that
One thing I want to address, yeah, his jaw definitely looks weird, especially like when he opens his mouth. That looks real strange. Anyway, angry pig feeding. That should definitely make it onto, that should definitely make it over there to the Twitter account. Is, the next big thing I'd like to kind of bring up is even if it's true, right, that the false copyright strike screwed him over, he still can't explain why he was in a decline before that. He still can't give you that straight answer. And he was slipping. Don't get it wrong. And then on top of that, if you know that your content is just going to coast along and is not really going to do much of anything else, right? It's never going to get any better. It's not going to go anywhere, so on and so forth. Then why are you still putting time and effort into it? Why are you still asking people to come to that channel and check it out if it's a dead channel, essentially? Why doesn't he doesn't think before he talks. So when you think about situations like that, then why are you still putting effort into that channel, into DSP Gaming? Oh, because you've had it for a long time? So the fuck what? False copyright strikes, theoretically, almost fucked him out of DSP Gaming. Or no, out of Darksydephil. And guess what? He kept playing. So what's the difference? He kept up with the channel until he abandoned it for DSP Gaming. So what's the point? Oh, because he's been doing it for a number of years? Oh, well, that's the internet. They praise you one day, they forget about you another. So I want you to think about this for a minute. Why is it that a channel that is dead, right? Why are we still going to prioritize it as our main channel, as our flagship channel, if it really has no worth to it? If it can't grow, right? If it can't get better, right? Then it's not really, then what value does it really have? And if KO Gaming has all this potential, then why didn't he actually put the time into it? Yet again, it don't make a whole lot of sense when you think about it from a certain angle.
Been doing YouTube-wise that I think could help in the long run, all right? Number two, behind the scenes of everything going on YouTube, I've been doing something for myself. For those who don't know, I own a condo in Connecticut. It's the condo that I bought in 2009, I want to say. Because I started on YouTube in 2008, and then I bought the condo summer of 2009, which allowed me to start filming full-time when I wanted to, because I had the space to do it. Not that I was in my parents' house or whatever trying to film in the bedroom, which you can't do 24/7, right? So I bought this condo in Connecticut in 2009. In 2014, I moved across the country to here, where I now live, Washington State. Now, the good news is it's allowed me to have a better setup, my dedicated office. I can stream. I have more control over my stuff. I pay lower taxes here. Like, everything is much better for the business here, okay? The bad news is I'm stuck with this fucking condo in Connecticut, which, by the way, things have not been going well at all anymore. So I want to get you...
If it allows him to have a better setup so he can do more, why isn't he doing more? Nothing happens overnight. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing good happens overnight. So why isn't he actually trying to make an attempt to actually put edited content on DSP Gaming, right? Why isn't he doing that when he actually has the time, he has the space, and allegedly he has the resources to do so? That's the first thing. Secondly, he brought up here about taxes, right? How his taxes are better. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is early 2017. this idiot wasn't paying his state and business occupation tax in Seattle. Now, Mythos tells you he didn't know that he had to pay that. He didn't qualify for it. But yet he had Panda paying it. Panda knew she had to pay it to operate her soap business. And she's only making maybe a couple $100s a year in profit. He was making $100,000 plus a year in profit. Well, he was making $100,000 a year. And he thought he didn't have to pay state tax. So he was fucking over the system, which ended up coming back to bite him later. Yet again, he wanted to sit there and play the system. He wanted to get over any way he could, and eventually it came back to bite him. So I want to just make sure I put that out there too, just so we can reaffirm where we're at in this situation.
Everyone caught up on that, because I haven't talked about that in a very long time, have I? So, the way it worked was, I had this condo in Connecticut, I lived there, then when I moved across the country to Washington State, my aunt was staying there, which was good, because my aunt needed somewhere to stay.
Now, this is going to be good. Now, real quick, the mythos is, right, that the reason why, there's two parts to the mythos. Phil's story, Darksydephil's story on why his aunt had to leave the condo is because she was basically really, really sick and they had to put her in hospice care. That right there is as recent as the end of 2019. Here's the reality. Here's the truth. The reason why his aunt left that condo is because she kept falling. And her family was like, she can't live by herself, and she definitely can't live by herself there. So we're going to go ahead and move her out. That was the case. Phil had some type of 5 or 7 year plan to have his aunt stay there, pay him whatever she could, right? For, rent basically. And he was going to coast along with that until he either had, until he had enough equity or he had enough paid off in the Connecticut condo that he could try to sell it and then use that money to eventually open up a restaurant, allegedly. The Piggy Palace of Italian and Polish cuisine, whatever. So that's what the situation is with the condo. That right there is that's 2020. That's how it is now in 2020. But let's hear what he had to say about it in 2017.
And she was paying me some rent. Now, it wasn't enough to cover the whole cost of the mortgage and the dues and everything that I owe on that condo a month, but it was defraying the cost of it significantly. So maybe there was a few $100s a month that I was losing, and at that point, I could afford it. Keep in mind, this was before the false copyright strikes, before the bullshit that YouTube did in 2016, before any of that. I was able to piss away a few $100s a month on a loss for this.
Now, I want you to think about that. It wasn't the full price, or it wasn't the full cost of it, but it was he was losing a couple $100. We know that his mortgage payment was somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 a month. Something like that. I think it's like $1,200 a month is what he was paying. It might be $1,500 though. So we'll say somewhere in between that. Okay, and then he has the homeowners association dues and then property tax he pays twice a year. So it's fair to say that his aunt was probably paying him over $1,000 and did so for at least 2 years. Because he says it's only a year, but I remember him saying distinctly she was there for like 2 or 3 years. So where did all that money go? Not where did all that money go, I should say. Let's reframe from that. The money that would have gone there, would have gone to pay for that condo if she hadn't lived there, what did he squander that money on? And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, he most certainly did squander that money. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and continue to find out.
Condo in Connecticut. My hope was that in a few years after being out here in Washington, that the real estate market in Connecticut would turn around and go back up. I'd be able to sell that condo in Connecticut. I'm not even looking for a profit. I just want to get rid of it so that it's off. I'm not pissing money away on this condo anymore, okay? Which is really significantly financially hurting me every month. And then I would be in a better position out here in Washington, right? Sadly, it's the complete and polar opposite, and I have not publicly talked about this at all yet. Real estate in Connecticut has tanked. Connecticut has become one of the least desirable states in the entire nation to live in because the actual cost to live there has skyrocketed, yet all the businesses have left Connecticut. You remember when I worked in Connecticut? One of the businesses I worked at was a helicopter company, okay? And that helicopter company had all this support for companies and individuals who would buy helicopters, and then they need parts and repairs and stuff done to their helicopters after they bought them.
Since he's going to take a sip, let's talk about that for a minute. This is the same helicopter company that his father used to work for. The same company that ended up laying Phil off after supposedly they gave him his ACE certification / award. He makes it sound like it's an award, and then he makes it sound like it was a certification for completion. He's kind of flip-flop between the two. And then they laid him off, you know, after that, after working there for 5 years. But I think he was given the ACE certification like a year or two, or even 6 months even, before they end up laying him off, which kind of gives you an idea of what kind of ass clown he was. But then if the basically compile on top of that, to build on that one, he's talked about in recent times how he used to complain about certain stuff at that job. How, oh, I was doing this, and then they wanted me to do all this too, and that's the price of 2 people. That's the work of 2 people, and they're not paying me for that. They're only paying me X amount to do this. They're not paying me to do that, so I didn't do it. So basically what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is he got himself fired out of that job. You know what I'm saying? He got himself fired. And the complaint about money was a big part of it. But on top of that, I'm still not done. He talks about when he was put in charge of restructuring certain aspects of the company to make it run more efficiently, which was the position that his father had. And, well, his father still had it, but I guess they had his father on some special project. And he's sitting here and he's trying to do the best he can. He's doing the best he can, and he completely streamlined it and everything like that, hoping that he would get his father's job. He was literally, the way he makes it sound, he was trying to take his father's job from up under him. And was like, oh, well, yeah, I've been doing this for, you know, whatever time. It was short. It was for a project. And his father overseed all of it, but I guess you could say Phil was in charge of it, or he was one of the leads for it. And he thought he did such a great job that he deserved not only his father's position, but he wanted the money to go along with it. And they were never planning on giving him that. If anything else, his father inserted him there, right, to basically try to show the company, hey, this is what, you know, he's capable of doing if you give him an opportunity. And Phil ran around there complaining about money, probably the majority of the time. On top of the fact that another little piece of piggy lore, when Phil talked about, oh, I need a special chair for my back. So you guys need to get me a special chair if you guys want me to continue working. And so on and so forth. He said that during the blackout streams. He talked about that part, which I thought was absolutely insane. So it's just more stuff compounding on top of each other, which got him fired from that job. But he makes it sound like he was innocent, you know, and then when he ended up, right before he left to Washington, before him and Panda moved, he went back to that old building. And I think the building was still open, or they were about to close, or whatever. And he was basically outside the building mocking them for firing him, saying that how dare they do that after all the time that he put in. What he didn't tell you is he made it sound like the whole company just collapsed and it failed. That's not true. The company that the parent company that owned the company he worked with still exists. They just relocated. They moved out of Connecticut, which is true when I'm saying that some of the jobs moved out, and it moved out there to like Florida. It was either Georgia, the Carolinas, or Florida, which is probably one of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, on why he was considering on moving to Florida and whatnot, because that helicopter company was there and he could, you know, probably reapply or talk to his father and see if they could slide him back in as a sales associate or whatever it was that he was doing. That might have been a thing. Just something to think about.
Well, after I worked there for 5 years, they laid me off out of nowhere. Then they downsized. Then they laid more people off. Then they downsized. Then they laid more people off. Then they downsized.
They didn't lay him off out of nowhere, by the way. He even said, and I've done this video. This is one of the first commentary videos I did on this channel. He said that, you know, yeah, I got let go today. He's like, it was a long time coming. You know, he's like, eventually it was going to come to this point. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, he's like, it sucks that it happened, but he's like, you know, the writing was kind of on the wall. But then after that, ladies and gentlemen, he started switching it up and acting like they just fired him out of nowhere. Even though I just gave you some of the reasons on why they would let him go. And if nothing else, his father was the one who was saving his ass for all that time. until eventually his father couldn't do it anymore.
And now they don't even exist anymore. That company does exist, but not the company I worked for. That subsidiary is pretty much gone now. So
that subsidiary moved, by the way. Like, so I already talked about that.
To give you an idea, that's what's going on in Connecticut right now. And that's not just that company. All the major companies that were in Connecticut that were reasons for people to move there for jobs are gone. So basically, Connecticut now is an insanely overpriced state because you've got a very small number of people who are filthy rich living in these ritzy areas in the hills, and it draws the per capita income up for the state. So the taxes are insanely high, right? The prices are insanely high, but no one wants to fucking live there because there's nothing there. So all the home values have fucking plummeted. I'm not even kidding you. This is the truth of the matter, folks.
The truth of the matter is the condo that we're talking about in Connecticut, he got cucked into that because he liked this girl who apparently was married or whatever the case may be. He tried to flex like, oh, you and your husband or whoever is trying to sell that condo. Oh, I can buy that condo. They got the money for it and they left. Like, she stopped talking to him after that because I guess they used to carpool with each other. And as soon as she sold the condo to him, they stopped talking. Like, she's completely cut him off. And allegedly the toilet that he poured grease, he used to pour his bacon grease down, by the way, it had problems from the moment that he moved in. So he said that they screwed me over on that too because they put in like cheaper pipes than what they were supposed to, or whatever the case may be. So there's that. The irony, though, of all that, ladies and gentlemen, is in his current house, the condo. I can't remember if there's 2 bathrooms or there's 3. I think there's only 2. I think there's one downstairs. Which is adjacent to the kitchen, and there's one upstairs. And there's one upstairs. Because their master bedroom doesn't have a bathroom. Yeah, and then there's a hallway bathroom upstairs. I can't remember which toilet he said it is, but I'm assuming it's the toilet downstairs. The toilet downstairs doesn't work. It's broken. And it's been broken for a couple years. And this idiot never thought about getting it fixed. So and that right there was something he told us in the last couple months as well. Just to give you guys an idea of how irresponsible this idiot is. It's hard work. Someone's got to do it, right? DSP News.
My condo in Connecticut, I bought it in 2009. Today, it's worth, less than half of what I paid for it. It's only been 8 years, not even 8 years yet. It's worth less than half than what I fucking paid for it in 2009. So there's no way I can sell it, right? Because I owe more on the mortgage, way more on the mortgage I used to buy it than what I would get if I sold it. And I don't have any money to pay off this mortgage. You know what I mean? Yeah, if I was a filthy rich YouTuber, like a lot of these people, oh no, I gotta piss away $50,000, $60,000 to make this condo go away? Sure, here it is from my savings. It doesn't exist. So I've been between a rock and a hard place. The good news is that my aunt was living there and at least defraying the cost every month. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? My aunt got really sick. My aunt, sadly, is not doing so well. Right now, she's in assisted living. She couldn't live in my condo anymore by herself because she kept getting hurt. She kept falling. And I can't get a renter there because my parents are now getting older. They're getting elderly to the point where they can't be there and take care of a condo. Because the thing is, if I were to rent out that condo, I'm responsible if, let's say, the toilet leaks. I'm responsible to make sure that gets taken care of. Or if I rent it out and all of a sudden the renters that I'm renting it to are noisy at night and they're breaking the rules of that condo, I'm responsible for holding them accountable and kicking them out. And I can't do that because I don't live there. So I cannot rent out this condo. I'm stuck. I can't do it. The condo is there and I'm stuck with it. I'm getting no money whatsoever anymore for this condo. And I can't get rid of it. I can't rent it because I don't live there anymore. My parents can't do that kind of work for me. Okay, they can't be renters there. That would be ridiculous for me to expect them to be like these fucking people who are going to take care of the condo. That's so ridiculous and unrealistic and not fair. Okay. So right now, I'm not even kidding you. Right now, having this condo in Connecticut that I can't sell and I'm getting no rent for is costing me over $1,500 a month. So a lot of people say, I don't understand why Phil has no money. As soon as I get paid, $1,500 goes to a condo that I'm stuck with and I can't get rid of, okay? So what I've been doing behind this...
Now, one other thing. when he moved into that condo in Connecticut, right? His parents essentially helped him do everything anyway. They were the ones who hung the shades. They helped him with the hole in the wall that he made the first day he walked into the damn thing because he's an idiot. They helped him do all those things. Now, here's the thing. When he left Connecticut and went to Washington, and his aunt eventually moved in there, who do you think was taking care of the condo if there was any issues? I would assume it was still his parents. You know what I'm saying? I assume his parents were still doing it. And if not, he could have is probably a friend of his parents that were probably, you know, doing them a favor or whatever. The point is while his aunt was living there, someone was looking after at least the general maintenance of the condo and so on and so forth. I'm just throwing that out there.
Scenes of everything is I'm trying to sell the fucking thing. Now, here's the bad news about that. Well, here's the good news and the bad news. The good news is it is possible to sell it what's called as a short sale. Now, I give you a little bit of a real estate lesson here because I used to be in real estate. I actually used to do mortgages and all this. I know all about it. A short sale is when you take a mortgage company, okay? So the company that holds the mortgage on my condo in Connecticut, and basically
He knows all about it, but that foreclosure in Connecticut is not working out to his favor. But he knows everything about it, though. He has a background in this. He knows what he's doing. Confident sniff.
Contact them and explain to them, listen, I'm in a situation of hardship. When I bought this condo, it was worth this much. Now it's worth this much, right? I was making this much money being a YouTuber back then. Now I'm making this much because things have completely changed on YouTube. I used to be able to rent it. Now I can't rent it anymore. Like all these things show all these factors. And basically what you need to do is convince the mortgage company to accept a way lower amount of money.
And he couldn't, and here's that smug ass look on his face. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And so with that being said, think about what he said there. I had all these different hardships, and you have to convince the bank to take less. Now, I want you guys to think about what he tried to do with that bankruptcy filing and so on and so forth. Think about that nonsense. And supposedly there's some new rumblings, there's some new developments about that. Check, I would assume your best bet is to check Mr. Huffstuff's Twitter and Mr. Huffstuff 2, or at Mr. Huffstuff 2. James the Lesser, Agent Proper, check their Twitters or their YouTube channels. Check out Darksydephil. Not the new one, not the one that's super popular. Well, the parody account that I should say that's super popular, like the alternate dimension. You can probably check him. He probably has it too. But Darksydephil, you know, the one that streams and does all that, does the weekend DSP. Maybe DSP Archives still has it, or DSP Archives lives now because he got his first channel got taken down, or his first Twitter account got taken down on some bullshit. Absolute fucking garbage. That's fucking a damn shame that happened. Or check Huey Farms. You'll find it all there. If I remember to, I will try to link it in the description. If I try to remember to.
Or the real estate than what you owe on the mortgage, okay? Now, normally they wouldn't do it, but the people who I'm in contact with, all right, these realtors in Connecticut are basically saying all of Connecticut's in the same situation. In fact, it's like terrible. Houses are getting foreclosed on left and right because no one can afford to pay their mortgages anymore, and it's ridiculous. It's like a really disaster situation in the state. So in a lot of cases, from what I'm being told anyway, these mortgage companies are saying, well, we can either take this lesser amount of money or we can just have this person stop paying us altogether, to which case we have to spend a bunch of money to foreclose on the property and get it back, which is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, what was...
See what he tried to pull? You guys kind of understand now why I brought up the current foreclosure as well as the bankruptcy? He's trying to force these people's hand and basically be like, hey, you either take next to nothing or you just take nothing. And then you spend your own money trying to get something out of me that I don't have, and I'll plead ignorance, and I'll throw myself on the mercy of the court, and they're going to let me slide. That's what he's trying to pull. And as time is going on, the March 5th hearing, he didn't show up. Him and his attorney didn't show up. The thing with the coronavirus, or C-19, is is a real big thing now. So the hearing on March 26th is more than likely going to get delayed. But supposedly there's another hearing coming up. It's in April, man. It's sometime in April. I'm sorry I don't have the information right now. I'll talk about that when later on down the line. But it's like in April. Someone said I think it's on April 10th. Matter of fact. Yeah, I think someone said it was on April 10th. Now think about it. Lightside Bill streamed yesterday. I'm gonna need to watch that. But big ups to Lightside Bill, both of them. But I think it's on April 10th. Now, if I remember correctly, because I'm just a cute pup in a sharp suit, so give me some leeway. April 6th is Phil's birthday. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but April 10th is I think is Catherine and Phil's wedding anniversary. Damn. And I think he has to show up to that. But then at the same time with these type of hearings, people delay them and delay them a couple of times. You can't delay them forever. But you can push them back. And given the whole situation right now, like I said, with the C-19 or coronavirus, I mean, he can't get it delayed inevitably, but he can keep pushing it back, I think. We'll see. But you're seeing right here, though, in 2017, how he was setting up for what ended up happening at the end of 2019 leading into the 2020 year. So, just so we're still keeping with the ebb and flow. And like I said, look at him right there. Eyes closed, willful ignorance. There's nothing I could do. I did everything right. I did everything correct with my patchy beard and everything. And, my receding hairline. And what could I do? That'd make a good thumbnail.
Pointed that when we could have just accepted this lump sum of money of what they were offering us. All right. So what I'm doing right now, I'm in the process of trying to sell the condo in Connecticut for way lower than what I paid for it and way lower than what I owe on it, but convincing the mortgage company to take way less money so that I can get that gone. Now, the good news is if this works, it could take months. I'm in the process of it right now, and I'm told like the earliest we could possibly get this done is like May, okay? If this works, that's a good, $1,500+ a month that I don't have to pay over there. My God, that would tremendously help me. You know what I mean? But there's no guarantee it's going to go through. There's no guarantee that
WWE champions. Defiant sniff.
This is going to work out. So it's kind of like wow, it's great if it works out, but it's not a guarantee. The other thing about it, and this is the big negative about it, apparently it's going to kill my credit. My credit right now isn't great because I already have so much debt in my name from the move out here and all the things I've had to do over the past 2 years to keep this business afloat.
First off, since we're addressing shit already, right, ladies and gentlemen? One, it cost about $4,000 to move out there. The real debt was taking on a house that he couldn't afford, while still having another house or another condo, if you will, back in another goddamn state. That's what screwed him financially. No one thought ever that it would be smart to move across country when your air quotes business is in a decline and move into a house that you really couldn't afford. And if that was the case, he should have asked Panda to, like I said, besides the editing or whatnot, that maybe she should consider getting a job sooner. They must have been out there for over 2 years before she even learned how to drive. You know what I mean? So, yet again, just more mistakes being made. And the clock is ticking, hence the reason why I chose that background.
Because I'm not making enough money to pay all these fucking bills that I had, so now I'm racking up more credit cards, and I'm taking out loans, and I'm doing all this shit.
Racking up credit cards and balance transfers, taking out loans, and he thought all of that was smart, and it wasn't. Yet again, greedy pig with his mouth open. It's not... When you start to look at a lot of this, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard to figure out why he failed. But that's part of the journey, though. You know what I'm saying? This is the gouty walk that some of you are choosing to partake with me on. It's amazing. Kinda. At least the coffee's good.
Try to keep this business afloat. You know, I don't really bother you guys with that stuff because you don't need to know the ins and outs of all that stuff. But the bottom line is my credit's not good already. Now, if I do a short sale, now my credit's probably going to tank. And I'm really concerned because later this year, for example, another thing that we're doing to try to cut corners here and really cut costs, the car we have now is ridiculously expensive. We're not doing it anymore. We can't do it anymore. The only reason that I got the car that I have now is because we moved here in the middle of 2014 and the lease on that car didn't end for another 6 months. And they told me if I were to turn the car in early on the lease, I would owe them thousands of dollars in penalties, which I didn't have. So I had to basically take a new...
Even though when he actually did send the car back and finally moved to the Corolla, I think they have. It's either Camry or Corolla. I'm sorry. I always forget. I think it's a Corolla, though. Yeah, I think it's a Corolla. But anyway, when they moved over to that, this idiot still had a credit card with BMW that he still owed them money on. And he still owes money on. I think he owes them like $2,000 or something like that. Something small. So, yeah. Just something to think about. And if you listen to the way he makes the story, he puts the story out there, they basically played him into renewing his lease. They kind of fucked him. It's kind of funny how Mr. Businessman didn't realize how he was getting played. I mean, I think that he talks about it here to an extent. So I know he's talked about it on pre-stream. So let's hear it out.
Car as kind of like, it was almost like blackmail, really, when you think about it. We won't charge you these $3,000-$4,000 in penalties as long as you take another car lease for 3 years, which is what I did. But now here I am 3 years later, and I'm in a situation where I can't even afford that car anymore. The monthly payment is ridiculous.
That wasn't blackmail. You were just stupid. You were better off just taking the hit, and that was it. That's really what it came down to. They were gonna, let's say hypothetically, that they were gonna be like, all right, you know, $3,000 and you're clean and clear. He should have just he should have put it on a credit card like he was doing everything else instead of going out and ordering $60 or $70 pizzas and shit. He should have took the hit on that and then just downgraded to a smaller car. But see, but in truth though, ladies and gentlemen, he liked the luxury. And the new car they eventually got, he talked that shit up. He loved that car. He didn't love it enough to buy it, but he loved that car. So he wasn't complaining so much then. He wants to bitch and complain and act like he was being blackmailed now.
So what we're going to be looking to do is about middle of this year when that lease runs out, get rid of that fucking car and get a much more reasonable low to mid-end car. It doesn't have to have crazy features. Basically, I'm looking to have my car payment every month, which I know I can do. The problem is, guess what? If this short sale goes through, it might plummet my credit. So now I'm going to go to a car dealership and say, well, you know, I got rid of this super expensive car. I need something way more reasonable. Great. All right, here it is. And then we go to do the credit, to do the loan for it. And they say, well, your credit sucks, so now we can't approve you for the loan. Now, if we don't have a car, Leanna can't get to work, right? Leanna can't get to and from work, so she can't make any money to help contribute to any bills or anything anymore. I obviously can't go out to do stuff for the... It's ridiculous. Like, this is the situation we're in right now.
He couldn't even give you a reason on why he couldn't go out and get a part-time job. He just said he couldn't. And if you think about it, if they had given up on the BMW early on, they probably could have gotten 2 mid-range cars, you know what I'm saying? And they could have probably been okay with that. You know what I mean? They could have probably made that work. It's a stretch, though, because really they don't need 2 cars. Just like, allegedly, Kat and Phil don't need 2 cars now. If it's true that they have 2 cars, which it very well might be. If you look at the insurance information on Kiwi Farms, there is a Subaru on that car. There's a Subaru on his insurance, as well as the Camry or Corolla. I think it's a Corolla, though.
So tight and fucked up. And it's so many factors going on in the back of my head. So I want you guys and gals to understand something. You know, if I sound out stressed out, if I get angry, you know, and everything, it has nothing to do with you. And it really has nothing to do with YouTubing or gaming or anything. All that stuff is still great. If you didn't notice, this month of January was great. This month, we had the Dark Souls Redemption run, which I enjoyed thoroughly going back and replaying that game. I really enjoyed Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I love doing the year-end series every year. That was great.
Ocarina of Time or Ocarina of Time? Either which way, I mispronounce shit too. So that's a thing. Now wait a second. I thought he said that he just said that everything on YouTube and Twitch or YouTube and streaming is great, but then he just finished complaining about YouTube being bad. How he doesn't show up in search results, how his views are down, and all that. Oh well, selective, you know, thinking, I guess.
Just played Resident Evil 7, which is one of my favorite games of the past couple of years. I really loved it. Like, everything I've been doing has been greatly positive, and I think every people have been coming out and watching the streams and participating. You're doing nothing wrong, I'm doing nothing wrong. When it comes to that, it's all this other shit behind the scenes that's fucking with my head that is bogging me down, honestly, and it's stressing me the hell out. It really is. I'm getting stressed out over this stuff, and I don't want it to negatively affect myself or the business. You may say, why was Phil sick so long? Why do you think? Stress is a factor. Stress absolutely is a factor of health. And the fact that I can't afford to go to the fucking doctor because of all this stuff going on in the background financially just compiles everything, right? So, just so you know, there are things going on YouTube like I just described, trying to do more edited content for KO Gaming and streaming on Twitch. Those are the changes I've made to try to fix things on YouTube and Twitch to make things better. Behind the scenes, I'm currently trying to short sell my condo and going to get a much cheaper car later this year. That'll hopefully reduce the cost of my life, and therefore, it should help things out. But the real reason that I'm making this video right now, this is the real important part, all right, is because YouTube fucked me over. Like, you know, it fucked everyone over last year. This month, January, was great, right? If you actually take a look, my views are up.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I actually went ahead and took a look real fast. So, he has a 2017 Toyota Corolla. I was half right. I didn't know if it was a Corolla or a Camry. But it's a Toyota Corolla. And it has 5,000 miles on it. The fuck you need a car for? Jesus Christ. He put no miles on that damn thing. Anyway, so yeah.
Everywhere. On every channel, on KO Gaming, on DSP Gaming, my views are up, way up. Not just a little bit up, way up compared to last month. Way better views. Streaming, more people.
Up, way up. But yet again, we started off this video complaining about that though. Huh. Can't get caught up in the, nowhere in the search results. Everything's tanking. But now, at the end of this though, apparently, because Phil's videos like this work in cycles. So I know we're starting to get towards the end. Everything is up, way up. Okay.
Coming to the streams every day, all month, right? We had more people on live stream for Dark Souls and for Resident Evil than I've had in months. Great. People were engaged. They were giving bits. They were, you know, subbing. It's all great. So everything's saying 2 thumbs up, right? Today I go in to check my stats on my Machinima console dashboard, which it is what Machinima does, it takes all the profit, supposedly, from all of my YouTube channels that I'm partnered with them, 3 of them, and it puts them all together into one cumulative total. They're telling me that as of today, now keep in mind, there's only 2 days left in the month, and actually it's staggered by about 3 days, so there's about 5 days left to tally and add into this total. They're telling me that right now for January, I have made thousands of dollars less than last month. Thousands of dollars less than last month. I mean, it looks like it's more than a third, more than 33%. So my views are up. Engagement, by the way, engagement up, likes up, even dislikes are up, which means more people are watching because more people are disliking. Of course, all those dislikes are from the Dark Souls playthrough, which we knew was going to happen. Everything is up. My engagement is up. Everything is up from last month. I've done better in January than I did in December. Great job, Phil. You made thousands of dollars less. And this is YouTube. This is what YouTube is doing. What this is telling me, and I'm sure this is what it's telling everyone who's doing YouTube for a living, we can no longer do just YouTube for a living. It's just not viable anymore. Because YouTube is fucking over the content creators.
Fuck you. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he could have diversified years ago. He could have diversified years ago. And the idea that anybody who was doing YouTube at that time, who was playing as hard as they were playing, couldn't go ahead and reach out to sponsorship. excuse me. For some of those people not to reach out to sponsorship sooner because they were scared or they were worried about what other people were going to think about them, or who didn't want to reach out to Patreon or participate in Patreon, I should say, sooner because they were scared of what other people thought about them. That's just pure ignorancy. It was stupidity, I should say, not ignorancy, but stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Sponsorships have been a thing on YouTube for a really, really, really long time. Patreon wasn't anything new. That's been around for quite a while as well. And people who initially did sponsorships, people used to call them sellouts, and call them shills, and this, that, and the third. The ones who stuck with it and who moved past that, guess where they're at? They're a haven for that shit. Though actually, most of those people are kind of like what's that guy's name? Jim Sterling. He doesn't. Well, Jim Sterling makes the bulk of his money off Patreon, so he doesn't even put ads on his videos. A lot of those people that I'm referencing, for example, who stuck with the sponsorship deals, they have small conglomerates of just different sponsors that rotate in and out and whatnot, because they are the people that you go to. They don't monetize their videos on YouTube. They gave that up before the YouTube bust. They gave that up a long time ago, and were able to branch out because sponsorship puts you into a bigger place, not just in YouTube, but it can, for those who transcended or diversified over to Twitch, they carry the sponsorship with them over there. And now you're making business, you're making actual business moves and whatnot. You're making business, you're actually doing business. Let me give you guys an example. Nate Shot, right? And 100 Thieves. The reason why, one of the reasons why 100 Thieves is so successful is, one, they are an internet-based business. They're not limited to a particular state or a particular city. The internet's their business room. And it is their boardroom, if you will. It's their market. Everything's free game. On top of that, when Nate Shot was with Optic, Optic was then, as it is now, just a glorified money team. It is what it is. They made connections, or he made connections. He made a shitload of connections because they were sponsored by, back in Optic's heyday, they were sponsored by damn near everybody. Everybody has either sponsored Optic or has participated at one time or another with sponsoring with them, or have wanted to sponsor with them. I mean, shit, there was a while where Hector, or the dude who used to run it until he lost it, it actually got snatched up from under him. It kind of sucks. A lot of irresponsibility, but it kind of sucked that it got yoked from under him. He turned down certain sponsorships because he was just like, hey, I don't think what you're doing right now is a good fit for the company. You know what I'm saying? Or for our team. It was really a company and whatnot. So that's what it is. It's no harm or anything and whatnot. It's just, I don't feel that's a good fit. There's not a lot of people who can do that, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually smart too, because that kind of gives you a level of prestige at that point. You know what I'm saying? Where you can respectfully turn down certain obligations or whatnot, or not obligations, but certain opportunities. Anyway, but Nate Shot built some of those same connections. So when it was time to build up 100 Thieves, he already had people he could call and reach out to. This is what I'm doing. Would you be interested in participating in that? Oh shit, that's Nate Shot? Oh shit, alleged golden boy of I don't mean to say alleged, but you know what I mean. Golden boy of fucking Call of Duty, or at least he used to be. Oh man, shit, that sounds like a plan. How is your business going to be structured? And Nate Shot's not stupid, and he doesn't surround himself with stupid people. So he had a plan, and you present that to the sponsorships, and they're like, okay, great. You guys got a YouTube channel, you got a Twitch channel as for 100 Thieves. Then you guys all have individual Twitch and YouTube channels for content creation. This is how shit pops. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why Optic and 100 Thieves, FaZe, that's really what they are. That's what makes a successful money team. Not the wins in tournaments. Let's be honest. At least if they had big wins, but they don't. I'll be the first to say it. They don't have all the big wins, but they have a lot of content. Each player, when you go to their stream or you go to their YouTube channel, you're getting to know them personally. So that makes you heavily invested in those individuals. So then when it's time for the tournaments, win, lose, or draw, you're invested in watching. And you're investing in participating, which means buying stickers, buying merchandise, buying jerseys, buying whatever. And that's how the money team cycle works. You know what I'm saying? And that's why 100 Thieves is doing it better than anybody. So when they didn't buy into this new Call of Duty League shit, that was the smartest thing they could have done. That was the smart. I mean, if you're a team buying into a league that you don't, into a league like that with a heavy commitment of $25 million, fuck all that. No. And he knew it, and they could have raised the capital, but that money that they could have raised to buy into this league for a game that's already failing, to be honest with you, would have been much better spent somewhere else. And then on top of that, because they make content creation on YouTube and on Twitch, they can pull their own money together. You don't necessarily have to use investor money in that particular situation. You guys can pull your own money together, right? And then now you guys can split the profits a little more. If it seems like a much riskier venture, then you go ahead and you bring in outside capital. You know what I mean? And that's how teams like that work. That's how situations like that work. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was going to if I was going to start anything like that online based, and I was going to reach out to other content creators like Sunspot Gallery, Super Sloth Pants, Paul, to Chio18 and so on and so forth to get something like that together, I have a general idea of how I would do that and how to make all of that happen. But you have to build that all around a brand and whatnot, and you need components to make that brand work. You need to do some outside work with that. Now, with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and transition to Darksydephil. Darksydephil was a brand. Okay? DSP Gaming was a brand. KO Gaming was a brand. King of Hate Vlogs were all a brand, all under a central umbrella. And this idiot didn't look at it like that. He just looked at it as a YouTube channel and nothing else, and didn't realize the real potential that it had. And because of that, is the reason why he's in this fuckboy situation now. When you look at Ninja, he's a brand. When you look at Tim the Tap Man, he's a brand. When you look at Pokimane, she's a thought, but she's a brand. When you when you look at Tfue, he's a brand. Or even though he was part of FaZe, he was a brand. All these individuals are brands. And so how you present yourself and how you conduct business, you don't have any idea who's watching you and who don't. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea who's paying attention to you and who doesn't. And so you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. You have to be open to opportunities when they're presented to you. You know what I'm saying? Because brands are known to be affiliated with other brands. And maybe, let's give you another example. Let's say, for example, let's say, Starbucks is like, you know what? This dude right here has a parody of us. And he's kind of funny. It's kind of annoying too, but he's kind of funny. But he's able to give people something that they can believe in. We kind of want to do something with him, but we don't necessarily know how it's going to work with him. So we're going to send one of our subsidiaries over there and and have them conduct business with him and see how that works. Just to feel him out for, 6 months to a year, and we see how that play out. So then someone else reaches out to GTG Network and Productions like, hey, would you be considered on doing this? Such and such, such and such. If I think it's a good deal that can benefit not just myself, but the people that are around me, then okay, fair enough. Because it's not about me. I have to think about the people around me first. That's how that really works. You know what I'm saying? If Phil had thought about that with John, Howard, OJ, and all those guys, who knows where their friendships could have been now. But whatever. That's me throwing boulders at glass houses. But, Monday Matt has a shitload of them, so he won't mind if a couple come up missing. Anyway, so we go ahead and work out a deal. After a year, everything's working out. All cylinders are working out, or everything's, all cylinders are, ramming forward. And then they decide, Starbucks, for example, slides into position as like, hey, we want to do this. These are our terms. This is such and such, such and such. It's not too much different than what you're already doing. How would you feel like, falling into a contract with us for the next year or two? See how that works? You know what I'm saying? And yet Phil never thought about it that way. And then later on, if it works out really, really well and negotiations come up, okay, well, hey, we're ready to prepare to give you guys more money. We're ready to do this. We're ready to do that. Well, hey, I'm ready. What about maybe a cross brand? Like under Starbucks, I want to develop something called Snortbucks. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts into something like that? And so on and so forth. A little back and forth, a little bit of negotiation, so on and so forth. All hypothetical, of course. All hypothetical, all first verse. And then you kind of build off things like that. These, ladies and gentlemen, are some of the opportunities, not exactly that, but these are some of the opportunities that this idiot had. But he was too busy chasing YouTube money. And all the other content creators that he said that were sellouts, or who want to go ahead and give you this highly edited, highly stylized stuff, when they were conducting actual business, they were conducting actual business. They were looking past this. YouTube is merely your platform, right? if you're really trying to be successful, then you're going to try to build upon that platform and branch out to do other things. He never thought about that. He never considered that. And he's even said that, oh, I didn't take this seriously. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. But he thought he was going to live off the backs of his fan base for the rest of his life. But he wasn't taking any of this seriously. No, he was ignorant. That's what he was. He's an ignorant bastard. And that's the reason why he's at where he's at now. And that's why no one has to pay for his fucking mistakes. Fuck him. Let him, his wife, and his stepson Jasper figure out what the fuck they're going to do. He had opportunities. He had second chances. He had third chances. He may have even had more than that. He chose to do what he did. And these are the consequences, ladies and gentlemen. These are the repercussions of him marching to his own drum. Just an example, though. DSP News.
Changing the algorithms and not being transparent with us, or they're just so fucking stupid that they can't figure it out. They fucked it up and they don't even know what they fucked up. I mean, how funny was it when they came out with that video, what was it, last month, saying, well, you know, all the big YouTubers are saying that subs are declining when they upload videos. Well, we checked it out, we can't figure it out, so they must be wrong. They have definitive evidence. They fucking showed it. We've all made videos and shit showing views are down, subs are down. How can you say it's not true just because they're fucking idiots? I mean, I can't take it anymore. How inept can you be at your job and you're costing people their livelihood? Something that we've done. I've done this for 8 fucking years.
So what? First off and foremost, a lot of people were complaining about subs back in those days more than views. But views were a thing, so let me not take that away from them. Secondly, YouTube was not meant... It wasn't built up. It wasn't constructed for a way for you guys to make a living off of it. That's not how the infrastructure was set up. The fact that you can do it makes that a privilege, not a right. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who makes money off of YouTube, off Twitch, off whatever, that is a privilege, not a right. So, which means, ladies and gentlemen, whoever it is who runs Amazon, if he decides to wake up one day, now that his wife is gone and he bought his mistress, girlfriend, a new house. If he wakes up one day, he's like, you know what? Fuck Twitch. Cut that whole shit down. He's in his legal rights to do so. He'll have to pay out whatever is owed in like tips and cheers and all that nonsense. But other than that, he can take the platform away all he wants. He can sell the platform if he wants. He can do whatever the fuck he want to do with it. And people like Darksydephil is not going to sit there. They can say, oh, I'm going to take him to court because he messed up my livelihood. What's it say in the contract that they acknowledge that you're doing this as your livelihood, and they will take some type of responsibility if, for example, your livelihood slips. See, that's the same dumb shit that Phil tried to pull when the Zombie Go Boom situation happened. And Zombie Go Boom lost. Yes, they understand that you made a business on their platform. If they decide to change things up, they don't necessarily owe you anything. And YouTube kind of already proved that. And that's kind of the reality. It's a harsh reality, sure. But that's the reality. Diversification isn't hard. It's uncomfortable. But it's not hard. It's just uncomfortable. And either A, you save your money, or save as much of it as you can so you have something to fall back on, right? Or B, diversify. One of the two. Because the third option, ladies and gentlemen, is the Darksydephil option. Fail. And blame everybody and say you did nothing wrong and you did everything correct while everybody else just passes you by. Because he's a goddamn dinosaur. And he wants to be taken care of. Choose one.
They're going to tell me I have to stop doing it because they don't know how to fucking run their own business. They fucked it up, and now I'm gonna get fucked over, not them. They should be the ones getting fired, not me. It's totally ass backward here.
How retarded is that? That's retarded, and this is drunken Phil. Another screenshot that you can find on our collection. Absolutely delusional. And if he was partaking in gin, this is kind of how he'd look. Because this is certainly how he sounds. He sounds just sloppy. It's their business. They're going to conduct it the way they want. If he fails and loses his house, it's YouTube's fault. Was it YouTube's fault that he bought the house? No. Was it YouTube's fault that he decided to move from Connecticut to Washington? No. Did YouTube tell him to buy that to lease? Sorry, not even buy it. To lease that BMW? No. To buy all those statues? No. To turn his back on all the people who actually gave a fuck about him? No. But he's going to try to take them to court over that? Or he feels like they hold some responsibility in his downfall? Okay.
So yeah, that's not good. I'm working my ass off all this month. By the way, you know, my voice was terrible this month. I was sick all month, trying to get better, not being able to go to the doctor because I couldn't afford it. Finally, I'm back.
Oh, poor baby. Paying $300 a month, I think he says, in medical insurance, and is too lazy to go to the doctor because he says he can't afford it. But you can afford to keep throwing $300 a month at medical insurance that you're not going to use. Huh. And you can also afford not to go to your local pharmacist or something and pick something up. Okay.
But I toughed through it to do Dark Souls and everything for everyone. Really busted my fucking ass this month between Dark Souls and the year-end stuff and everything.
I busted my ass to play a video game, guys. I really busted my ass to play this, to press these buttons. To press these buttons for you guys.
Everything's up and everything's good, but I made way less money. Makes sense, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Makes so much fucking sense. So the reason that I'm making this video is because I'm being matter-of-fact with everyone. Unless I can get some kind of miraculous change, or unless I can get more support via Patreon, via an insanely huge increase of views that I don't ever foresee happening, or via subs and people participating with bits on Twitch.
Basically, he's basically wanting direct money. Because you saw how he sandwiched all that in? Oh, Patreon, that's the crown, right? That's the top of our bun. Views, which he really don't give a fuck about at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit filling. That's the emptiness of this empty burger. And then the heel, right? Or the base, or the bottom, being tips or subs on Twitch. He didn't even try to throw Teespring in there. Could at least thrown some lettuce onto that shit sandwich. Too lazy to do that.
Daily, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. Because the bottom line is right now, they're telling me January was my worst month ever on YouTube since I started. Ever. Even though the views are up and everything, least profitable month I've ever had on YouTube. Even though I busted my ass. And
poor baby. You did shit work. And they basically told you, hey, you did shit work. But now I'm going to have a temper tantrum about it because they told me I did shit work, even though I busted my ass. It's still shit, no matter what. No one wanted to watch it. And the people who didn't want to watch it, or the people who were brave enough to watch it, you said, as Phil said, likes and dislikes are up. So that means a lot of people showed their disdain for it. But because I busted my ass, though, I deserve a participation trophy. I deserve my participation medal. 4th place, right? I deserve everything that the person who took 1st place gets. Because I showed up. I tried. So I deserve everything that everybody else has. Sure. That makes a whole lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense.
March, because just so you know the way it works, this month I earn a certain amount. They don't pay me for 2 more months. So the good news is, this month and next month, I'm good because I'm getting the revenue from the end of the year from like November, December 2016 was decent. So I have enough to pay my bills. If something doesn't change by March and I get this tiny paycheck that they're claiming they're going to give me compared to what I usually get, I can't pay my bills. Something's going to have to give. You know what I mean? And I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing I can think of is to ask more money. I've already borrowed some money from my parents. Ask for more money, which is
Now, here's the... Oh boy, I left that part out. And there's a reason for that, though. So, just in case you guys don't know pig lore, I'm sure a lot of you do. Phil's parents are so gracious and generous that they send him money each and every month. It's just something they've been doing for years. They've been doing it since he got laid off from the helicopter company. So, this is just something that they've been doing for years. What another little interesting aspect, though, is on top of the money that they send him each and every month, he's been borrowing money, too. Now, I'm usually someone that lets that go. You know, maybe there's a particular situation or whatever. I do that on the main channel quite a bit. Because he very rarely brings it up that he had to get a loan from his parents. But it's not really a loan because he's never planned on paying it back. So he just borrowed it. Right? But then, I think since he brought it up, I might as well go ahead and speak on it. This idiot has Teespring, Patreon, PayPal donation, Twitch, YouTube, and we still get a stipend, if you will. We get a stipend from mommy and daddy each and every month, and you're borrowing money on top of that. And yet we still can't get it together. We still can't figure it out. I want you to think about that. Don't think about it too hard. It's not that important. That's what you got me for, but still, think about it.
Not getting any younger, and they're certainly not making more money. It's ridiculous for me to have to keep asking them for money. What am I going to do there? I can't take out any more loans. I'm strapped. I've taken out 2 business loans since I started this business from the beginning, and since I moved out here, I've got these ongoing debt and everything, and I can't take any more.
You winded down on that real fast.
I'm to the limits of debt that I can put in my name at this point without getting rid of some debt like that condo in Connecticut or getting rid of this expensive car.
Not trying to pay down any credit cards.
So if ever you were considering helping me, supporting me, and you want to see me keep doing live streams on Twitch, you like the changes I made that I'm back on Twitch, right? You love that. And
you like the changes I made, me being back on Twitch. He literally did nothing. He just went back to the platform. But that's a change, though. That's a change that he feels that you should pay him money for, even though people are already paying him money on Twitch by tipping him, by doing subs and bits. He wants more money on top of that because he got off his ass and decided to go over there. Which he only went over there not because he gave a fuck about any of y'all, because he gave a fuck about the potential money he could make off of y'all. Because now he had more options at that time to make money off of you. Jesus Christ.
I love that I'm now not only doing the raw gameplay on DSP Gaming, but I'm doing more videos for KO Gaming. You want to see that continue. If this is, 8 years and you respect that and you like that and you want to see it continue, I need your help. Okay? Just be straight up honest with everybody. All right? And one final thing before we adjourn here. A few people, I don't know if they were serious or not. You always got to question it, right? I question everything now because I've had so many people fuck with me over the years. I don't know who to
Paranoia.
believe anymore. There's been a few people who have pinged me over the past couple of weeks saying, Phil, you should just have a PayPal donation link. Because every once in a while, people like to just
He already has that. And he had a Amazon affiliate link, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that he don't want to talk about. He's had one of those too. But he has a PayPal donation link. He always has.
Anonymously donate out of nowhere, and if you just had a PayPal donation link, people would send you money, and hint, I would probably send you money. I can't do it, and I've already explained this multiple times. I'll fully explain it one more time in this video. For tax purposes, it's the worst possible thing you can do. This is from the mouth of my accountant that I've had for 5+ years, and he's a dean.
The same accountant, since he has his hoof up in the air trying to act like he's telling you guys the truth and he's not. The same accountant for 5 years who allegedly was fucking him over for 3 years by not telling him to pay state and business occupation tax. Ladies and gentlemen, it all just kind of flows together over here, okay? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're all going to learn together. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot of stuff that you guys may have heard somewhere referenced by somebody and whatnot, and you weren't, and there was never really any clarification. I'm accused of doing that, but we're gonna try to bring it together here. We're gonna try to, one video at a time. We're gonna try to.
And I'm not even kidding you. He's the head of accounting at a very highly ranked university in Connecticut. He knows what he's talking about. That's one of the worst possible things you could do.
Now, you saw how we bigged up him, right? You know what I'm saying? Highly esteemed, you know what I'm saying, at a firm in Connecticut. He knows what he's talking about. What he didn't tell you is that the guy had done it for 30 years, so on and so forth. He bigged up the hell out of this guy before we found out that we owed all this state and business occupation tax. And I surmise a lot of people do actually, that he's a family friend of theirs, of his parents. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. And this is why I've been questioning it, that whole tax attorney thing from Connecticut so hard the way I have over the years, is because why would a friend of your parents fuck you over? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would he go out of his way to screw you over? Why would he burn your bacon and not go after your parents' bacon? Like, that never seemed right. What I think was the situation is he somehow convinced that tax attorney that, oh, what I do doesn't actually fall under, you know, the qualifications for this state when it comes to their state and business occupation tax. That's why I don't owe it. Maybe it's even possible that the guy was like, hey, since you're over there in that state, man, maybe you should just consider doing such and such, such and such. I can refer you to someone. Oh, no, I don't want to go and look for somebody else. And you already know what you're doing. And, you know, I don't even qualify for any extra stuff over here. I just want to pay my federal and that's it. All of these things are plausible. They're possibilities. We don't know. Eventually we will, but we don't know. So just something to think about. I'm just throwing out some hypotheticals to you.
If I were an esports team and I had a lawyer working for me and we had our own established finances in a bank account and we could make a special PayPal link that would link to that business related bank account so that everything could be separated from personal to business and all of that, yeah, then that would work. And that's why a lot of people, I don't understand, Phil, there's this full-time.
Now let me cut in. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy Philip has 2 PayPal accounts. He has one, which we would assume is a personal PayPal account, and then we got a business account. Well, and then we have a second account, which could be a business PayPal account, or just one that he uses to conduct business. That's a thing too. And right, since I'm on a roll, Phil has admitted in the past that because you guys have all heard this. Oh, guys, I need you guys to really tip me, man, because if you guys send me tips, I can use those to buy games. Those help me balance off some of my gaming expenses for peripherals and stuff like that so I can keep the business going. You guys have all heard that. So that means whatever he was being tipped, he was pulling that out right away to use it for whatever. Just like how he says he needs to use tips now to go towards buying groceries or paying unexpected bills or whatever the case may be. Now, let's look at it another way. I've been talking about this with James Lester for a little bit. What if Phil, and this is actually not even a new theory, I've said this a long time ago. What if Phil was using one PayPal account to transfer to actually collect all his tips and everything, and then transfers that to the second account and then spends it? And Phil has admitted that he actually has a like a PayPal credit card or even debit card, because they have those too, linked to his account, possibly accounts, and that's how he actually did a transaction on PSN through his PayPal account before. He told us about it. So it gives you an idea of how the money's getting balanced out. But in 2017, he's saying he couldn't do that, even though he always had a PayPal donation link. He's had that since 2009. Defiant sniff.
Twitch streamer who goes to Counter-Strike Go tournaments and they all have this link and everyone always donates. Why can't you do that? Because that's business for them. For me, my PayPal link is my PayPal link. It's my private stuff. I can't give you that to just send me money. For tax purposes, that's terrible. They would try to audit the fuck out of me. They'd say, you can't have, you know, business payments coming in the same exact way as something else. The way I got it right now, my payments come in from Machinima. That's documenting. You know, it's documented. I've got payments coming in from Twitch. That's documented. I got payments coming in from Patreon, and that's documented. So between those three,
how are you going ahead and doing all those things then? And that's part of his business. How is that? So let's think about that, ladies and gentlemen. We have a deposit coming in from YouTube. We have a deposit coming in from Twitch. We have a deposit coming in from PayPal. These are all three aspects and whatnot. These are all three branches on the tree, which is his business. And he's sitting there telling you that he can't grow another branch that's part of his business. He's literally claiming all three of those things, Twitch, YouTube, and PayPal, or not PayPal, and Patreon, as personal. Huh. Well, that's weird, because how is it that someone who applies for business business tax breaks, why is he claiming those three aspects of his business as personal? And now he's scared to add a donation link, which he already has, by the way. He's too scared to add a donation link because he'll get audited. Huh. It's almost like he knew he was cheating them, and he didn't want to put the donation thing on there because that was going to be the tip of the iceberg. Huh. That's why he was okay with you guys tipping him through Twitch and not tipping him directly through PayPal. Huh. Isn't that convenient? Semantics, I'm sure. Semantics, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry that I've wasted your time with that. Semantics. Absolute semantics.
Methods, it all works out well for tax. And by the way, everything is taxed fully like normal income. Nothing is considered a gift or whatever. Everything that you guys give me is taxed like normal income. It's not legal to say that, oh, well, someone just sent me a PayPal donation. That's a gift. I'm not paying tax on that. That's illegal. And
now, smug ass, he thinks he knows what the fuck he's talking about, Phil. Isn't this the same idiot now that tells us on Twitch, on stream, when you send him a tip, it's just a tip? It's not. It is not charity. It is not a donation. You're just sending him a tip. But he's making it sound like he's kind of... oh, boy. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like he went ahead and put himself under his own hypothetical pignosis. Well, not hypothetical. That's mine. Under his own pignosis. I don't know. That's really scummy. That's really, really scummy.
I can't do that, okay? That's why I have everything coming through Patreon, Twitch, or YouTube, period. So.
Whoa. That was a hell of a snort. Anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, that would have all just been wrapped up with everything else. It would have all just applied to it. It would have applied to that whole situation the exact same way. Matter of fact, in an earlier video that I've done on here, it's like it says, one of my first commentary videos after he got laid off, he talked about that PayPal donation link and how you could send him money there and so on and so forth. And also, if I remember correctly, and if not, he did it in later videos, where he said that, hey, don't expect anything for this. You're giving this to me. You're donating this to me, out of generosity. You're not, this isn't a transaction. Wow. Looks like he forgot his own lore. Crazy.
If you want to help, all right, if you want to see me be successful, you got to act soon, because basically something has to change by March. By the time that this payment comes through from YouTube, that's so fucking low, according to what YouTube's telling me right now, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. It's either got to be pledging to my Patreon, all right? A lot of people say, well, I don't understand because the highest perk is $50. You could pledge as much as you want.
You see what I was just saying? He just didn't want to go with the donation link. He didn't want one more piece of paperwork to worry about. He wasn't worried about being audited, lying scumbag. He just didn't want an extra outlet that he could possibly get fucked on or trolled on. He wanted the three main outlets that he already had. Mainly Twitch is really where he wants the direct money to come from, because he apparently likes how that works out. Or PayPal. And if you try to dispute it, I'm not sure if disputing shit at that time was a thing. Pretty sure it kind of was, but whatever. He would think that he would have the benefit of the doubt from whichever company in question that it would let him walk away with the money. Even though we know now that was a blatant lie. Whatever. Appreciate it, Jordy.
The highest perk level I'll give you is $50, but you could pledge more than that if you want, and a lot of people have, and I want to say thank you to those who have done that since I started with Patreon.
You know what he sounds like now I think about it? He reminds me a little bit right there of Base Mama when she was doing Kilroy. And she was like, I appreciate everybody who's coming to Kilroy, but you know what I appreciate more? The people who are not coming to Kilroy and still want to support the event. I think that's just great. Kind of worked out. Well, until it got exposed.
Or subbing to my Twitch channel, or using bits to cheer during my Twitch streams. Those are the 3 ways that you can definitively help me out. And of course, if you haven't been watching my videos or my streams, but I don't think that's the problem. When YouTube is telling me your viewership's up, your engagement is up, likes are up, dislikes are up, up.
You just said your engagement was up. You didn't say your views were up. When they say your engagement's up, all that really means, or at least that's the way I take it, is that the people who are watching your videos are interacting with your videos more than usual. Maybe someone who's watching your video who normally wouldn't hit the like or dislike button is deciding to do it. Or someone who watches your video and may just leave a like but doesn't leave a comment, now they're doing it. That's what's considered engagement. You're not actually getting more views. I don't understand how you don't necessarily know that or understand it.
Thousands of dollars less this month. You know what I say? Fuck you. I say fuck YouTube, fuck Google, fuck all those dumb fuck employees that don't know how to run their business and are screwing.
Never mind. I know what my thumbnail is going to be now.
Me over. After 8 years of hard fucking work, they don't know how to run their own business, but they don't get fired. I do. Because they fucked up somehow last year and either don't want to fess up or they're too fucking dumb to figure it out. I'm the one who gets fucked. So the bottom line is, moving forward, it just can't work out like this anymore. I cannot rely on this YouTube revenue month to month. It needs to be a significant increase in Patreon and the Twitch participation, or else I'm not going to be able to do this. And one final thing, how many people, of course, 1 million people, why doesn't Phil just get a job? Why doesn't Phil just get another job? Because then he could do the job during the day like he used to, and then he could do YouTube at night. And then he'll have double dipping. He'll have a stable income plus extra money on the side. That's not how life works, folks. It's just not. It's not how life works. Because if I have this full-time job, I'm not going to have enough time to be doing this every night anymore. I don't live by myself. I'm not a bachelor. I have responsibilities here with my girlfriend around the house and stuff. I'm not going to have time to do it.
Your girlfriend has a job. You're not babysitting her fucking numbnuts. What the hell are you talking about? How was it that you were able to juggle it the first time? Oh, because you lived by yourself? You drank yourself stupid and eventually got yourself fired. What are you talking about? Oh, well, I can't take... we both can't have the car if we both have to go to work. One of you guys dropped the other one off. You guys see if you can try to, set up your schedule in such a way where, okay, Panda works during the day and you work at night. Or vice versa. Or maybe you guys get lucky enough that you can go in at the same time or around the same time, and you guys can get out around the same time. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. Something can be finagled. Something can be worked out. Maybe Panda has to wait an extra 15, 20 minutes. Maybe she just goes around the mall or runs into a bookstore or something. Maybe you run into a sandwich shop and help contribute to your gout. I don't know, but there are ways of working this out. But instead, he wants to give you weak-ass excuses like this. The same weak-ass excuses, ladies and gentlemen, that he's been giving for years. Everybody is expected to help him, but he can't actually help himself. He just wants to keep doing what he's doing, just coasting along. Not putting in more effort, not putting in less. Just keep coasting.
Little time that I have to cram in is not going to be 1/10 as much as I put into it right now to be able to do daily live streams like I do, to be able to put out the quality of video that I do. You're going to get so much all the attention. Just think about that. If overnight I stop covering every new release, I only cover 2 games a month. It takes forever for me to finish these games. And the video content that I put out is reduced by 2/3 to maybe 3/4. That's it. Viewers are going to stop coming. People come for the content. They're not.
Viewers have already stopped coming. Huh? But yeah, viewers have already stopped showing up though, Phil. Which is the problem in the first place. You already forget? That's okay.
Just, they're going to say, well, Phil's dried up then. I guess I'm not going to check it out anymore and I'll go out of business. That's the bottom line. The amount of money, even though the amount of money I'm making now isn't enough to cover my bills because of this bullshit YouTube is doing, it's still more than if I quit all this and went and got a part-time job or 2 part-time jobs. Because the bottom line is no job is going to take me. That is, even I'll be honest here, even the office job that I had when I was in Connecticut, if I went back to that job, it wouldn't be enough to pay my bills right now. It's the bottom line. It wouldn't be enough because of everything that happened with me racking up debt and everything for the business and everything these past few years. It wouldn't be enough. If I went back to that stable...
It's not enough. It wasn't enough then. It wasn't enough now. And that's why you're bankrupt, idiot. And yet, we could have taken a different path. 3 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, we could have taken a different path and we chose not to. And a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum, detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, as well as DSP fans, even said it doesn't make really a lot of sense for him to get a part-time job or something because, you know, he can't sustain it. He was putting out garbage anyway. Maybe if he put out less garbage, maybe more people would watch because there'd be less of it to watch. And he could have actually been doing something meaningful with the rest of his time. But no, everybody on both sides said no, this is all really he can do. And now look at what ended up happening. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying just because someone had an opinion that changes, that changes piggy history. It don't. I'm just throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just throwing that out there. But we now know how it all worked out going about it this way. It kind of makes you wonder what would have happened if he actually tried going the other way.
Time job, it wouldn't be enough. So I have to stay the course. I have to keep doing YouTube. I have to keep playing games. I have to keep doing everything that I love doing. So I can't.
Key phrase. I got to keep doing everything that I love doing, and we failed. Back at this time, like I said, he was probably averaging about 3 million views a month. He's now less than 800,000 views now. Or he's around 800,000 views now. So him staying the course really worked out, didn't it? Now, granted, for the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics who try to side with him, I wouldn't say side with him, who was like, well, let's try to be common sense about it. It doesn't hurt them that he failed, right? It doesn't hurt them. And even the wheelchair symbols and the other man children on Phil's side, it doesn't necessarily hurt them because Phil ain't got no choice now. He'll be stuck doing this for the rest of his life. But who it did hurt was Phil. He sat there and listened to everybody else instead of thinking about his own intuition. You're doing something that you're already failing at, and you didn't even want to try. You didn't even want to try something else. He could have given it 3 months. He could have given it 6 months. He didn't even try. He spent that time giving you excuses. And now look at where he ended up. But yet, assholes like me are at fault because we pointed that out. Okay, sure. All right. I'll take that heat then, I guess.
It's good because even though I'm struggling here and I'm stressed out because of the finances behind the scenes, at least I'm still doing something that I love doing, right? But
even though you're failing at it and it's not paying bills and it's putting you into further and further hardship. But as long as you get to keep doing what you're doing, you're okay. So that sounds like an interesting life lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Keep failing at whatever it is that you're doing to where you're forced to beg for money online and still put out other garbage. But as long as you love what you're doing. I never really looked at it that way. Maybe because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that way. But I suppose in some alternate universe that's a thing. I mean, given his current look here, somewhere down the line, I guess that made sense. I like to call this confident yet baffled DSP. Yet again, it's part of our signature collection of ignorance. You should check it out.
Something's got to give, and something's going to give. I mean, hopefully, maybe I can sell this condo in Connecticut, and that's a lot of money in my pocket every month that will go towards this and not be a big issue.
I'm hearing a whole lot of hoping, but I'm not seeing or even hearing the implication of doing a whole lot of doing.
Hopefully my credit can hold good enough so I can get a cheaper car later this year. That's just two of the things that I'm doing behind the scenes, and I hope it works out. But I need more. I need more support. As little as $1 a month on Patreon, a cheer here or there on the stream on Twitch.
I hope for this. I hope for that. And you guys just need to give me more money. I mean, support. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I need more support. I hope that this, and this works, and all that falls together. But I need more support. That makes sense.
It's a serious and dire situation at this point. And the bottom line is, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's YouTube's fucking fault at this point. Because now we know. That was the thing.
And here's the blame game. This is what I call ignorant Phil. Yet again, part of the ignorant collection. This is yet again, eyes closed, hands open. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. This is actually the second piece that's part of that actual collection.
In the middle of last year when all of a sudden everything plummeted and everyone's staring at it like, why? And everyone wanted to point the finger, right? It was Phil, because Phil fucked up.
And this is squinty-eyed Phil. Yet again, part of the DSP ignorance collection. This is the blame game part of our exhibit. You know what I'm saying? It's a sought after piece, to be honest.
Because no one likes his content anymore and this and that. Now we have definitive proof that's not the case, because the whole second half of last year and this month is going up, up, up like this. I'm actually on an upward fucking trend. Yeah, I'm making less money. Obviously, that's not my fault.
Even though he admitted this is willfully ignorant Phil, who thinks he's made himself a point and he really hasn't. Because Phil has told us plenty of times, ladies and gentlemen, that in the holiday months, October, November, December, he always gets an upturn in views because it's the holidays. There are more people out watching, and more importantly, there are more people willing to participate with certain aspects. So that's nothing new. And especially with new games, and I'm sure he hoard himself out to try to play all of them, he's going to get a nice uptick, if you will, in viewership. Are we going to forget our own lore? Wow.
All right, folks. I don't like to burden you with this. I don't like to talk about this. I don't. But I have to. Every once in a while, I have to make a video like this, and it sucks. I don't want to do it, but it is what it is. So please, if at all you've enjoyed what I've done these past 8 years, you want to see me keep doing it as a job and not be in a lot of fucking financial trouble here, please consider pledging if you can. I'm certainly not asking those who cannot afford it. All right, I'm not. I don't want you to think that, oh God, I can barely pay my bills, but Phil's in trouble. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for those of there out there who think this is a joke, that this is a fucking scam and a fundraising scheme, and I just don't want to go get another job, you don't seem to understand the reality of this.
You want money from the people who question you? That's kind of what he said. Oh, the people who can't afford to give me money, but really want to, this isn't for you. But for those of you who question my motives and question how I've executed my motives over the years, you're the ones that I hope turn around and feel bad for me and give me money. Is that by far is the most unrealistic thing, or one of the most unrealistic things I've ever heard.
Situation is that I have no
want your namesayers to feel pity for you. Holy shit. Yikes, that's meme levels of desperation.
And there never was an out. And it's just everything every year compiling bigger and bigger on top of my head to fuck me over, right? Real estate market in Connecticut collapsing completely on its fucking head. False copyright strikes in 2015 screwing over my DSP gaming channel, so just significant drop in views and income there because of that. 2016, YouTube completely changing all the algorithms behind the scenes, fucking everyone over on views and profit. Like, every year, there's like a big fucking giant thing that's happening that's screwing me over. How could I have predicted it, right? And now I'm between a rock and a hard place. There is no easy out here. I can't just quit this and go get a job. Wouldn't work.
No one's telling you to quit it. They're telling you to diversify your time better. No one said, and I love when he talks about, oh, people want me to go out and get a job. They want me to quit this and quit everything I did. No one told you to quit. You're already failing at what you're doing. They're just asking you to cut it back.
And there's nothing really definitively that I could figure out that I could change that's going to massively improve everything for YouTube that I'm going to get tons of views. I just don't see. I don't see DSP Gaming get any.
Can't even really look at you. Looking at the ceiling, looking all over the place. Still can't even really give you a straight answer.
Significantly better because of what happened in 2015 with the copyright strikes, and I don't see anything but KO Gaming really taking off. If anything, KO Gaming is the thing. If that could take off like it did last year and stay at that level, I'd be good to go. The problem is, it went up, and then because I wasn't making negative fucking videos about games every single day, people left. And that's the thing. People on YouTube love the negative. If there's a video that says something sucks, it's the worst, it's terrible, it's a piece of shit, it's a ripoff, it's a scam, people will watch
funny. That sounds like everything that Phil's ever said throughout his entire career. So what's the problem?
Shit out of it. But if I make an honest review about a game that I liked, no one watches it. It's ridiculous.
No one gives a fuck about what you like. You call yourself the king of hate. Like how difficult is this? Ladies and gentlemen, he's been known for ripping games. He's been known for ripping the shit out of games. He's been known for ripping the shit out of the people who makes the games. He's been known for ripping the shit out of people who likes the games he rips on. And this idiot thought he was going to turn around and try to give his opinion about something he gave a fuck about, and he thought people were going to care? Okay. All right. Okay. I'll bite. I'll bite.
People don't want truth and honesty. They want drama because they're immature.
So did you lie? Wait. They don't want truth and honesty. They want drama. So you lied on Homefront? You lied about some of those other videos that got massive white hot popular views? Did you lie? Is the whole King of Hate moniker just the lie to get attention? And then when our lying little pig here wants to be an honest little boy and wants to go ahead and give his honest opinion about something that he does enjoy and that he does like, he's mad because no one gives a fuck. Because he ran around the pig who squealed wolf over and over and over again, and really when the wolves started to come up, because boy, who don't love some bacon, all of a sudden he can't get nobody to help him because everybody was used to hearing him squeal it up, and it'd all be just a joke. Wow, that's wild. That's meme levels of ignorance.
Shits, honestly, who just want negativity. They want to watch negative, rant, angry, meh. Instead of quality, well thought out, contemplative, something that when you watch it, you can learn something positive. They don't want that. The common YouTube viewer wants negative, and I am not 100% negative, and I refuse.
I'm not 100% negative. I think we've all begged to differ.
To change myself as a person or become a character, an actor who's going to be angry all the time, or, oh, this sucks.
Really? Isn't that why people like coming out to watch you play Street Fighter? Or watch you come out to play PUBG or watch Blackout or whatnot because they want to see you rage? They like seeing that? I guess we forgot our own marketing scheme.
Fuck this, fuck that. There's always something to rant about and be angry about because there's people on YouTube, that's all they do. All right? And I'm not actually calling out any particular YouTuber because a lot of people say he's saying Angry Joe. No, Angry Joe doesn't do that, actually. Angry Joe is one of the more fair and balanced YouTubers where his videos, yeah, if he's angry, he'll rant about something, but he also very accurately reviews games and gives credit where credit is due. So please, don't try to spin that out of the way. But there are people out there that are just fucking...
The reason that's not spinning it, though, because you've taken shots at Angry Joe before. What the fuck are you talking about?
Nasty, negative people, and they make a ton of money doing it because they're nasty. I refuse to do that.
You know what, that could have been this could be low-key, because he is a coward. This could be a low-key shot at Rich, now that I think about it. I have to think about that.
Gaming, if I'd continued to be nasty as fuck last year, all year, to every game I played, probably would have been making millions of views a day, and I would have been rolling in money. But it's dishonest, it's disgusting, and quite honestly, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I did it.
It's dishonest and disgusting, yet I can lie about my marriage. I can con people into giving me $1,000 for my cat. I can sit there and give you guys the sob story leading up to my marriage that my parents were sick and dying, and that's the reason why I needed to go out there to visit them. So the 2 fundraisers that I had prior to going to Connecticut, I need you guys to really come out and support. You know what I mean? Because this might be the last time I get a chance to see them. But I can't. How would I be able to sleep at night? How would I be able to deal with that? Hence the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, he's up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, drinking his Tanqueray and watching WWE. So it's not like he sleeps very well, huh? It's almost like there's something burdening him, ain't it? Something weighing on his conscience, huh? Oh well, semantics.
That's just me, I guess. I'm a victim of myself, my own morals.
I'm a victim of myself, my own morals. This scumbag literally told you that. Darksydephil DSP, prolific liar, right? Absolute scumbag, failure incarnate, is a victim of himself. I mean, he is, just not in the way he's trying to portray. Defiant sniff.
I guess I really am. I came into this YouTube era way earlier than most other people before it was for this. I came into it at a time when it was genuine, when people did it because they loved what they were doing. Whether
if it was so, wait. If you came into this when it was genuine before the money came in, then why did you try to make money from it from the start? Because, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that he never talks about, but it's true though, is that he was making money off of his vlog channel that him and John used to go ahead and hang out and do stuff on way before he could monetize his gameplay shit. His gaming channel stuff. I want you to think about that. Now, let me go ahead and give you, but hold that. Let me give you another scenario. So, we're getting paid off, Phil Burnell's getting paid off of his vlogging channel, but he's not getting paid off of his gaming channel, which was Darksydephil at that time. So, how does Phil get the maximum amount of money out of people if he can't monetize his gaming stuff? Oh, well, I'll just link my channels together. So where that you guys watch me on DSP Gaming, but my vlogs are over here on my vlog channel. So make sure you guys go over there. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So you guys can get my thoughts on certain things. And everything, and everybody who loves your gaming stuff funnels over to your vlogs where you do have ads, where you can monetize that. There you go. And then when we go on our vlog vacation type stuff, I'll vlog all that too. And I'll run ads on all that, and then you guys participate with that too. Oh, but then I had to ask for you guys to participate on my monetized channel, my vlog channel. I asked you guys to click a bunch of ads to help me out. But then Google saw that large influx didn't sound right, or definitely didn't look right, and then I got knocked out of Google AdSense. But I thought he did it before. I thought he did this from the very beginning when this was all genuine. And there was no money in play. Even though you could make money off of your vlog style stuff in the beginning. Or at least when he started. Wow, that seems odd. That seems a bit weird, a bit contradictory a little bit. But, you know, semantics though. Semantics. I could be missing something.
Was singing or art or gaming or whatever, politics, whatever it was, they had a passion for it, and they wanted.
So I can't have a passion for any hobby that I do that I can actually profit from. I can't enjoy. So let's look at this for a minute. So let's say you have on Twitter, for example, you have all these artists, right? There's a lot of talented artists out there, and they all make they make all these different pieces of artwork and so on and so forth, and people commission them and so on and so forth, and they're like, "Hey, you're really great. The next time I come to you, I want to pay you for this. I want to pay you for a piece of work." And what were they supposed to say? Oh, no, you don't have to do that. No, I mean, a lot of them do, but they're like, nah, you don't have to do that. No, have to do that. And they're like, no. You have a lot of talent. You could really make something out of this. I know it's just a hobby, but you can make something out of this. And then that person spreads the word around to 2 or 3 other people. 3 or 4 other people turn that into 40 or 50 people. Next thing you know, something that you're already passionate about doing, now you can profit from it as well. And people believe in what you do so much that they're willing to throw their money at you to make it happen. All of a sudden, that's a bad thing? But then why the fuck is then Phil sitting here playing video games, having fun, sharing his experiences, and being passionate about it? Basically, what he's doing is he's downgrading and diminishing his own rapport right now. By him sitting there and saying that, oh, I did this before the money and whatnot, and the money came in and fucked it all up, and everything was genuine, and it was real, and actually meant something, then what does it mean that he's doing this now? That means the first dollar he ever collected off of YouTube for gaming now, because I already told you about the vlog shit, because he would, if you try to direct this towards him now, he would say, no, I'm in gaming. Then that means the first dollar he ever earned off gaming was corrupt. It was tainted. It was soiled. But now he's sitting here fighting. To have you guys participate more so he can get more money. But it's all tainted, though. It's all soiled. It's all corrupted. Well, that's weird. Why would he want you to participate in something that's against his sensibilities? I guess it's one of the great mysteries, I suppose.
Make videos about it because they didn't have another platform. They didn't have big publishing budgets. They didn't have big people coming out and funding them hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a top quality YouTube channel. They loved it for the passion of it. And that's why my early videos looked like shit, because I didn't have a budget. It was a crooked camera aimed at a fucking television screen. But you could feel the passion. You could feel the fun that I had back then. And I still have that every single fucking day when I come to work and I play these games and I have fun doing them. I love doing it. I get people in my streams that, Phil, it sounds like Phil's bored. I'm not bored. If I was bored, I wouldn't be fucking doing this.
Wow, you heard the high-pitched pig squeal? Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Trust me, I'm not rich. I'm getting little to no financial benefits out of doing this anymore. I'm doing it because I love it. That's why. I'm not doing it because
this lying bastard says this exact same shit now on Twitch too. I do it now because I love it. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love it. But then proceeds to beg for money before that statement, and then proceeds to beg you for even more money throughout that statement. Sure, because you love it.
Fame or fortune. I'm doing it because I fucking love it and I want to keep doing it, you know? But that's the thing. People on who watch YouTube videos don't care about that. They want their little quick, instant 30 seconds of gratification, a cheap laugh from a scripted video that's fucking completely ingenuine and a paid advertisement and a lot of times, and they don't even fucking realize what they're watching.
Don't worry. We're going to go over the Tobuscus putting ads, having his ads in front of Phil's videos. We're going to go over the Mitch Dyer shit. It's going to be glorious. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. There's more fun to be had. Because all he's doing now is popping shots at everybody else. You know, who was successful. He's popping shots at everybody. So don't worry. We're going to go over those cases.
Is a paid advertisement because they're not using conscious thought anymore. YouTube has become the mindless amalgamation of crap on the internet instead of the place to go to for talent. Where did it go? Where did the talent go?
But you said all your videos were crap. And it was garbage. And you said that you had passion. Passion and talent are two separate things, Phil. So you're talking about, you're not doing a very good job at it, but you're trying to push the narrative that you have talent and you're being overlooked by people with bigger budgets. But you admitted, though, that your content's garbage, right? And the only thing that kept you going was the passion for it, which really means the passion for the money. Because last time I checked, you still had a camera facing your TV long after you were actually on Machinima. You know, when you were making that big money. Semantics, I'm sure.
All right? So, I don't know. I guess I'm one of the last bastions of gamers who started out 8+ years ago doing this because I love it, doing it because I love covering games and giving you my honest opinions and showing you raw what it's like to play a game. And now I am branching out, right? Twitch streams are changing. I did my first Twitch and chill stream ever. I definitely want to do stuff like that again. More interactivity with my viewers and edited content, much more higher quality on KO Gaming. I'm trying my best to adapt and branch out, but there's only so much I can do. I need your help. All right, folks? That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you informed as to things. I'm hoping things in February will pick up because we've got a ton of new games coming out. Plus, ad revenues tend to start picking up again in February. It's usually January is the worst on YouTube and then it picks up. So maybe things will turn around in February. I don't know. I'll obviously let you know. But for now, I'm in dire straits. I need your help. If you can help via Patreon, subbing to Twitch, or bit cheering when I'm streaming, I'd appreciate it. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. Peace out. See you later. What is up?
Wow, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a chance to just clean up over there, but let me get a chance to kind of straighten up a little bit and get things readjusted. See you guys in a minute. Holy shit.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago. And I think about you every day. But, you know, now I got a blue bike. And it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So, rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you act on a brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with fine.
I can't wait to start bringing jazz back to the channels again. Or at least the jazz-like feel. That's just always great.
and the felt of the velvet. I said hell with a helmet. I can tell that you're jealous
All
of
right,
the
guys.
smell of the shellfish.
Maybe not.
Don't tell me I need a haircut. You can't walk a mile in my shoes because I'm barefoot.
All right, guys. So where do we go from here? That's right there. Yeah, I guess so. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So where do we go from all this? Strap in, because there's a lot of that. I mean, there is a lot of that you're gonna have coming up over different situations for different reasons, and it's gonna all tie into each other. It's all gonna flow with each other. It all sounds kind of the same at times. There's a new person that's being blamed, but it all kind of is the same pathetic bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really just meant. It's really just history. You know what I'm saying? It's just going back and looking at what brought us to where we're at now. And I can't stress that enough. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of war going on, and there always will be, to be honest with you, because Phil changes his story so many goddamn times, and it's hard to keep up with it. And I mean, I need to try to at least staple some of this stuff down. You know what I mean? If the news broadcast itself is gonna, you know, be able to, I wouldn't say even keep going. It's just, I don't know. I like references. So that's the reason why I do it. And like I said, it's if you can direct people with a certain reference, like, hey, at this video he said this exact same thing X amount of years ago, but then he actually embellished on it and told you why, or told us why this situation played out the way he did. This dude is lying. It kind of helps. You know what I'm saying? But if I can draw the story out for you, then I can give a bit more clarification. But also, for some of you, you guys may have never even seen some of these videos, because they're fucking in the fucking piggy void of Phil's channels and shit, buried under whatever, and they're one of the last places you would look. You wouldn't think about going out your way to look for this. Why would you? I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? Leave that for brain dead idiots like myself. So, so that's the thing. That is the thing. But we'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, moving forward. Like I said, I want to go after the beefs that he's had with people. Definitely going to go through some of his the early channel updates and stuff like that. I want you to hear, you know what I'm saying, some of the opportunities that he squandered away on YouTube, because there's plenty. Trust me, there are plenty of them. He's screwed himself over multiple times. For no good reason, to be honest. He didn't understand what he had. That's really what it came down to. And if he had reached out to other content creators and whatnot, he may have been able to fix some of that. He may have had a better understanding, but he didn't want to. He got popularity, if you want to call it that, rather quickly, and thought he was a big boy, and thought he was special. And because he got there by himself, he didn't get there by himself, by the way. John and Howard there from damn near the jump. But because he got there on his own, he thought he was better than everybody else. And ladies and gentlemen, no. Just no. He wasn't. He's never been a self-made man. He never did it all on his own. He was never a fucking underdog. It was none of that shit. He was on the ground floor when this shit was being constructed, and he somehow was able to squirm himself way into a position. Period. And when that shit became outdated, when that shit became prehistoric, and it was time to change, he didn't want to, because he thought he was unique, and he thought that there was a place for it, and there is. But there was a place for it. But as time goes on, people get tired of seeing the old shit. And it wasn't even about the old shit. It wasn't even about how he was doing it. He wanted people to be more committed to him and his personality than the actual gameplay itself, which is one of the reasons why the gameplay faltered. The reason why people turned against him wasn't just the gameplay. It was what kind of ass clown he was, how he treated people, how he thought he was better than people. That's the reason why the attractive community actually exists. But that's neither here nor there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll see you guys for the next video, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. I don't have a catchphrase or anything like that. I'll work on it as time goes on. But this is DSP News Second Edition, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun. It certainly has been my pleasure. Take care of yourself, guys.
My bike is my best friend. My worst enemies tend to be dead ends. In the sun, chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In the singing mood, the drinking booze like a bomb. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. Chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In the singing mood and drinking booze like a bum. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one.
I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you. I told my girl I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you.